Joe Rogan Podcast. Check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day. Let me tell you, I was at Terran Tactical, and I was shooting, and Logan Paul was there, and I just met him, and I hit a dove.
No.
I grazed a dove somehow, right?
Oh no! Yeah,
And the
they
dove
do
is
fly
dying
around
there.
there. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
and Logan and I come up, and I grab the dove, and I'm going to wring its neck so it doesn't suffer. And Logan goes, wait, hold, let me just see it. And he takes it in his hands, and instead of me wringing its neck, because I don't want it to suffer, I swear to God, it was all, you know how the wing is like this?
Uh-huh.
His Jesus energy, his whatever his energy is, he held it in both hands. I swear to God, the thing kind of just went, just kind of put its wing back in and just fucking flew out of his hands. And I was like, all right, well.
Oh, you were gonna kill it.
I was going to kill it. I was like, all right.
They are delicious.
Maybe that's Logan's celebrity power.
Do you know that it's like the most hunted bird in North America?
Listen, pigeon's delicious. And
Yeah.
I was just hunting them in London, sir, on the outskirts of London. I just got
Oh,
back.
I was like, in the city? I don't think you're allowed to do that.
But this is why I can't do anything. Look at me.
What's the matter?
I don't know how to do this. Help me.
It's like a door. You open
you
the
open it.
yeah, like that. I know it's weird.
All right. Yeah, but I should
They're
be
all
able,
different.
I get pissed when I can't figure out little shit like that.
Yeah.
Like a child seat. I'm like, okay. And I look at my wife. I go, you do it. And I just throw my hands up.
What is it about men that we don't read directions?
I don't know, man.
I never read directions. I open the box. I look at this fucking bullshit. Put that aside. I don't need this. No, I'll figure this out.
My wife, remember one time when my kid was really young, I had to put together a child's bed. And I'm like, I can do it. And I go to put the bed together well, I couldn't. I couldn't because there were directions. And I was like, the screws, you know how they number the screws?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sitting there like this, and then I'm making noises. I'm going, ah! My wife's like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, stay out of the room. Apparently she gave me the room. Get out of the room. I got this.
You should do hard cardio before you put together any child's
Dude, no, this is what I did.
Just get calm
I
first.
called my buddy, and I go, I'll give you $300 to come over here right now and put this bed together. He builds houses. He comes over, he goes, it's 4 slats in a frame. What kind of a moron are you? He couldn't believe it. I was like, shut up.
Well, that's different, though. That's a guy who's used to using his hands.
Yeah.
Not a delicate man like yourself.
That's correct, sir. I have soft hands. I'm, by the way, fresh. If I have some marks on my face, I'm fresh from the mat of doing takedowns at 58. That's a good time. Oh, it's a great time.
How's your back? You all right?
You know what, dude? My back is actually good because I've mastered the art of warming up.
Oh, that's good. That's smart.
I'm pedantic about it. Like,
God,
they make fun of me, and I'm like, fuck off.
Yeah, you should.
I do my bird dogs, my fire hydrants.
You know,
all that
Muhammad
shit.
Ali used to work out used to warm up rather for an hour before he worked out. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I watched
I didn't
Manny
know that,
Pacquiao.
but that's how you stay from getting injured.
I did this thing with Daniel Tosh and I at Wild Card Gym where Tosh was getting punched by Manny, and I was like, help. It was like some silly sketch we were doing.
Yeah.
And but Manny was there for a real workout day and just kindly allowed Tosh like 20 minutes of his time, and they did this little thing. But I got to see Manny work out. It is very meticulous.
Yes.
It's all like he's working out with rubber bands where it's like short little movements and it's all these twisting and turning, and he's got guys stretching him. He's like, he's moving around. Like everything's very slow.
Very slow.
Get the body warmed up first.
Yeah.
His first couple rounds of we watch him hit the mitts. His first couple rounds of even hitting the mitts, it's like tap, tap,
Tap.
tap, tap.
Just move.
Yeah, just get everything.
Yes.
Get everything flowing.
I watched Olympic ice skaters. I was doing a gig at Laugh Boston, and they had some huge tournament. And this woman was in there. She was apparently an Olympian. Watching the way she warms up, like her ankles rubbing down, all these little details. I was like, that looks boring as shit, but
It is.
you have to do it.
You have to.
You have to.
Otherwise, you wind up all busted up and broken.
But it allows me to actually wrestle.
Did
like
you?
to be 58 and actually shooting single and double legs against the monsters in.
That's silly.
And I'm with Sean Apperson or Tyson Mendes, those guys at Archetype Boxing. They're just all muscle.
And you're wrestling with them?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And then Tim Kennedy,
Are
those
you
guys.
planning on getting hurt? Are you trying to get hurt?
Well, I
Looking for
usually
an excuse why you feel pain?
my advantage is I just go. I make a weird noise and
Like
then
a
I
gay
fall. Yeah,
woman?
I go like this, ah, and I tap or I fall down.
Did you see that video I sent you of that 80-year-old woman who completed an Ironman?
Yes.
80 years old, she completed an Ironman triathlon, which is, I think it's 120 miles on a bike, and then it's a marathon. And how long is the swim? Did I send it to you, Jamie?
I think it's 2 miles, 2.6 miles.
It's
crazy.
So crazy.
Yeah.
She's 80 years old.
Yeah. But I think if you do something every day like that, I actually think you can.
Yes.
It's
You
just
keep
true.
a lot.
Like what people never do is they don't do
Natalie,
any sprints.
I don't know how to say her last name. Grabow.
Yeah.
Either way, Natalie,
Grabow.
you're a monster. Amazing. 80 years old.
So nuts.
She became the oldest woman to finish the Ironman World Championship.
God.
That is so
A
incredible.
3.8 kilometer swim.
Wow.
180
So whatever
kilometers.
that is in miles.
108. That's like 180 kilometers in miles is like 5,000 miles. I'm not good with it.
I think what they're doing this this must be a UK website that's covering this, because I think it's all done in miles. I
Yeah.
believe.
I've never had an interest in endurance stuff. Do you?
I have an interest in it, but here's the thing. It doesn't matter, Jamie. It's a lot.
Yeah,
Anyway, whatever this lady did
It's a
is,
lot.
is
It's too
fucking
much.
incredible. We don't need to break it down exactly to miles, but I'm pretty sure it's like a 120-mile bike ride and a full marathon. I mean, at 80, all in a day,
Yeah.
and a 2-mile whatever swim. What the fuck?
I don't know.
The lady's a beast.
Yeah, it's a beat. That's
That's
crazy.
just will. That's just having a fucking iron will. The problem with that is it will consume your life.
Yep.
That obsession with endurance will consume your life. And you can let it do that if that's what you're into. If like you want to find peace in the punishment that you give yourself, like David Goggins does. When I talk to him, he's so crazy because he's doing all this stuff by himself for no reason.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm getting lessons. He's telling me he's like learning things, and he's not bullshitting.
No.
Like he's like a strange type of a monk that we've never had before.
So let me ask you. The question is he a monk, which he probably is, or is he an addict? And maybe you can be both. You know?
You can be both. I think monks are addicts too, because they're addicted to being calm. They don't want any women in their life.
You know what
They
I
don't
mean?
want any possessions. They're like, dude, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm addicted to just being like this.
Yeah, they were doing this neuroplasticity kind of like these scans, and they found that the monks that sit around and meditate on joy, they like think of the joyous things, that part of their brain expands. Okay, I mean,
They should talk to Charlie Sheen, because he was telling me a story about how he got his dick sucked while he was smoking crack for the very first time, and it was
That'll
the greatest
expand your brain.
experience of his life.
Oh, yeah.
He said to this day, nothing's topped it. The greatest experience of his life was the first time he smoked crack, a girl was giving him head.
yeah, well,
So tell that monk to go fuck himself.
my friend who did heroin, well, I may as well say it. Artie Lang, said it. He said it on the podcast. He said he did heroin the first time, and as his head hit the pillow, he went, "I'm in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is just. I'm going to chase this dragon."
Yeah, Dave Landau said a very similar thing. He did it once. I think it was Dave, right? It was, right? Dave was telling us. I'm pretty sure.
That shit'll. For some people, that shit'll grab you.
I think for most people, that shit grabs
Yeah.
you. Yeah, I think you have to be like averse to doing things that'll fuck your life up. Like you have to have like an automatic, like maybe you grew up around alcoholics or something like that, or you saw. I didn't. None of my I didn't have like anyone in my family that ruined their life with alcohol, but I did have friends that had close relatives that I saw become addicted to cocaine. And I saw this when I was in high school. So I got like really scared of addiction. And I also, when I was working construction, there was this fucking dude that I was friends with who was really cool. He was an older guy, older than me. And I was like 16 at the time, 17. And he was probably in his early 30s, but he couldn't keep his shit together. He just couldn't stop drinking. And he would be good for a while, and then he would start drinking again. And man, he was so funny. He was so fun. He was like such a cool guy, and he was a drummer in a band. And the band just, never kind of, his name was Robbie, and the band never kind of fucking got it together, but he was like he could have been my best friend if like we were the same age and we were hanging out together.
It's just not sustainable.
But I was watching a man who was a carpenter. He was a Finnish carpenter. And, very talented carpenter, but he would just ruin his life every few
with Coke
months.
Or with
both.
Yeah.
Both, booze and Coke.
Yeah.
But booze would start it off. It would be, he'd all of a sudden be drinking a Budweiser, and then it was off to the races.
That's the thing about addiction. I or just anything in life, if you want to be good at something, I actually don't think you can do it necessarily. I mean, some people can maybe, but I don't know how long. When you talk about discipline, when you say I'm just not going to do it, you that works for some people, but I don't think it works for people like that. I think what they have to do
Their
is
brains
figure out,
wired differently. Yeah,
they have to figure out a way to make sobriety more pleasurable than the other thing, and that's fucking hard.
Well, Jimmy Norton, his mom famously said when he was like hooked on hookers, she's like, Jimmy, you gotta take your addictions and channel it into something positive. Like, it was really funny. He'd talk about like how fucking off the rails he was, but how his mom would help him, like with that piece of advice. But that is true. Like, so if you can all of a sudden become a marathon runner when before you were just looking to score meth every day. Yeah. You definitely, that's a better thing to be addicted to because it's not going to ruin your life. It might ruin your ankles and your knees and shit, but it's not going to ruin your life where it like takes away all your money and you wind up sucking dick for rocks. It's
kind of hot.
People do stuff.
They do. Well, do you remember I said to you, I mean, we were talking and I said, I think you had gotten some, it was in the press, you signed some deal or something. And I said, I've known you 30 years. And the one thing, the only thing that's changed about you is you've gotten more peace of mind. Like, you just haven't changed, really. Like, you haven't changed. And I said, what do you think it is? Which I'm always careful about talking about because I don't want any of my friends to get into their head about it, right? Just like, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, don't start asking too many questions. But I was like gently kind of going, I wonder, we were kind of exploring what it is that keeps you grounded. And you said to me, I like to do something really hard every day so it reminds me what a bitch I am. And that's the same thing I feel about, I wrestle almost 4 days a week now, which is ridiculous. It's actually embarrassing, right? But I do it because it's hard. And I don't want to, and I have to warm my frame up, and then I have to go wrestle around with these fucking monsters. But there's something about it, getting better at it, kind of slowly the incremental getting better at something, and I do it because it's hard. That grounds me. No matter what, I know I did that today. And that's a really good starting point. That's a good place to jump off of.
There's something that, and if someone's listening and they're not into that, you definitely don't have to do that. Just try to do yoga every day. Try to go to one of those Bikram 90-minute hot yoga classes. It's some of the hardest shit I've ever done physically in my life.
No shit.
So you don't have to like go wrestle. You can do something that more aligns with your political ideology.
No, I always say that. If you're, especially, I can't speak to women, if you're a young man, you want to find yourself, just get really good at something. Like, just get good at fucking the piano. I don't care what it is. I always use jiu-jitsu or something like that just because it's hard, but it's a placeholder for a lot of other things.
Well, it also lets you know that there's a process in life that you can apply like universally. And that is like focus and attention and, and this objective goal of getting better. And then you see progress. And then you realize like, oh, this is kind of applicable to just being a human being. Like, you can get better at being a human being by thinking about, okay, I fucked that up, I fucked this up, but I did that good. Oh, what did I do differently? Oh, okay, let's do more of that. And then over time, you get better at being a human being.
Yes.
Right? But if you don't ever try to get good at anything, you're the same douchebag you were when you were in high school.
It's true.
But now you're 48 instead of 16.
Yeah.
And you have the emotional maturity of a child.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of people out there running around like that are just grown-up babies.
I know.
And they mask it with they'll mask it with a good vocabulary.
Yeah, or they'll mask it with part of like everybody wants to be an individual, right? You want to be a little mysterious. You want to have a little like a skill set. And one of the great things about stand-up is, you know, no matter where I am, I know I got that. Like, I'll put me in front of a group, a crowd of 100, 200, 300 people, doesn't matter. I don't care who they are. I'm going to make them laugh. I know how to navigate that space for an hour. That's a nice thing to know. But if you don't have that, you don't have a skill set, if you don't have something,
anything,
what happens is you then negotiate individuality with accoutrement, as they say in France, which means
you might dye your hair blue.
Of course, and get all kinds of tattoos, and then
wait a minute.
and then do some crazy shit. Yeah.
I just counted all my tattoos.
But you have no face tattoos.
Oh, fuck. Not yet.
But you're gonna do a lot of shit.
Getting
You're
a
gonna
heart
do a lot
in the
of
tip
shit.
of my nose.
Yes. Yes. Get your nipples. Get 2 hearts on your nipples.
Or get them pierced. That's the best.
That's hot.
That's
Joe
what you
Rogan.
need. You're definitely making good decisions.
58
You got
years old.
Rods through your nipples, and you're a man.
It's a new look. I'm trying something out.
LOL.
But you know what I mean? You'll do
Yeah.
that. And then you'll attach yourself to some
Yeah,
political
some
cause.
thing. Yeah, all those people that are protesting on the streets, 99% of them are losers. The other ones work for the Fed.
I have a whole joke about that. It's like fucking, you know, if
It's
I was
FBI agents and losers. That's all it is. The whole fucking every protest,
Dude.
is FBI agents and losers.
I talk about this all the time. I'm like, for me, you want me to join a protest? You want me to get out on the street? First of all, to make a sign? The fuck out of here. And then
You don't have to make the sign. There's a guy with a van who's paid by George Soros,
Yes.
and he's got stacks
handing
of
them out?
signs that were made at Kinko's. Okay, they're not homemade at all, and you can just fucking just pass those bad boys out.
I'm never leading your revolution. My problem is my sign would say, "Ugh," or "It's complicated." You
Yeah.
know?
Well, if you're really trying to get your life together. But there's some things, you know, that people feel need to be protested, like people in the UK. Like, they're a polite group. This is a polite society, England, for the most part, you know? And they've gotten to the point where they're like, okay, this is kind of nuts.
Yeah.
Like, what are you guys doing? They've arrested 12,000 people this year for social media posts.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah,
and counting.
Yeah, and they're arresting people for just saying things in public like, I like bacon around Muslims. Yeah.
Wow. Is that true?
Yes.
Because you're being annoying. I looked up that it's some kind of an information act that, and if you one of the things is if you post annoying. I was like, what?
That's everything I've ever
fuck you talking-
posted.
that's like-
I'm annoying.
And the Brits are famously sarcastic.
Right. And also, it depends entirely on who you are, because, like, what's annoying to me might not be remotely annoying to other people.
I mean,
so I get to decide whether or not you've committed a crime.
They would have arrested Trump 50,000 times, you know.
At least.
But I always say that the Brits, I don't wake them up.
Yeah.
Because they
conquered
come
the
alive.
world. Yeah.
That small island of pale people conquered the fucking world.
Yeah.
Don't be like, because I think that there's the Irish too. Like, be careful now.
Same thing.
Be careful
Yeah.
because they're very comfortable in a couple situations. They come alive, and when it comes to soccer, i.e., football,
And fist fights.
and fucking war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And fist fights.
Correct, sir.
Just a long history of warriors
And
out of
they'll
both
knife you.
Ireland and
Yeah.
the UK.
Yes.
Yeah. And great. They make great mob movies. Boy, Guy Ritchie's fucking show Mobland.
Oh, dude.
Have you watched that
No,
show on
no,
Netflix?
but I love his movies.
Oh my God, it's good. It's so. Is Mobland on Netflix? No, it's Paramount Plus. It's all the same. One of them streaming service. It's not all the same. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
One of those streaming services has it, but
How
it's
dare you.
fucking great.
Yeah.
It's fucking great.
No, they don't.
And it just shows you
can-
like how crazy like the UK mob scene is. It's like it's probably pretty accurate.
Yeah. It's they always say the SAS and stuff.
What is it, Jamie? Paramount. Paramount
Oh, it's
Plus.
Paramount.
Yeah.
It's good though, huh?
It's real good. One of the best shows ever.
Yeah.
Like as far as like, you know, dramas where you follow them along, which really ruined movies. This episode is brought to you by Visible. You know that one friend who's always the first to know about everything? They've got a dozen tabs open constantly on their phone and in their head. To be that friend, you need wireless that can keep up. Visible is the ultimate wireless hack that lets you live in the know so you can follow a rabbit hole as long as you want. Get one-line wireless with unlimited data, talk, and text for $25 a month. taxes and fees included. Plus, Visible runs on Verizon's 5G network, so you get great coverage and a reliable connection without the premium cost. Ready for wireless that lets you live in the know? Make the switch at Visible.com. Terms apply. See Visible.com for plan features and network management details.
Dude, they're so sarcastic. I'm sitting there with my friend. We're in a shoot. We're doing a shoot, which would mean you wear a collar and tie, sir, with those knickers. Those.
Are you talking about like a shoot with a gun?
I did a pheasant shoot.
Oh, you went hunting,
sir. Yes.
Yeah.
And now at night we shot deer, but in the morning time they do drives. And please follow along. We wake up. We have a wonderful breakfast at the estate, and I'm paying for none of this. And then we go out and we have a loader. I had a loader because I can't load my own shells. I had a loader who is a British guy. That's what they do. And then the villagers beat the bush to get the partridges that have been stocked.
Partridges or pheasants?
I'm sorry, both.
Oh,
sorry, both.
Okay.
Now it's a huge business. It supports an entire community. So these shoots are, they're very expensive. So the person sponsoring it pays essentially all these. Everybody's making money.
Rich people recreation.
It's rich people recreation, and but there's something. I don't know what else. What were we talking about? I lost my train of thought.
You're talking about English people.
Oh yeah. They're so sarcastic. So I've got this loader. Who's next to me, and I'm missing the birds. I'm not good with a shotgun, and they're coming right at us, and I'm fucking literally just missing all of them. And at one point he looks at me and goes, "Are you a vegan?" I was like, "Fuck you, dude." He just quietly said that to me.
That's hilarious.
He goes, "Swing your barrels." You
you have to learn how to do that. Actually, in the UK, learned how to do it. I learned how to do it in Scotland.
Oh, you did that?
Yeah. I did clay pigeons.
Okay.
Those are really fun.
Yeah, those are fun.
And you learn how you have to lead them, and you learn like how to shoot with a shotgun, where you're kind of it's almost like feel where the pellets are going to go, and you want the disc.
Well, you got to swing your barrel, right?
Yeah.
So when the bird is coming, you go belly, you go tail, belly, beak, and you pull the trigger as you lead the bird.
Yeah.
So it's like throwing a football.
Right.
And then they run into the pellets and they perish.
So different than any other shooting that I've ever done, because all the shooting that I've ever done, you have to be dead still. Like everything I've shot with a rifle, rather. So rifle shooting, you don't move at all, and it's just about control and controlling yourself and staying calm and not flinching when you pull the trigger. But this is so different. It's like, they used to say that like the Comanche, one of the things that was crazy was some of them weren't even really accurate with a bow. If you just gave them a bow and told them to shoot at it like a target, they weren't accurate.
Really?
But on a horse. So on the horse, the gallop, and they had this fucking zap. They knew where that arrow was going. So that they're using the chaos. So what the movement and all the darting around, they just guide the arrow, in the middle of chaos and war.
So you love archery. Do you know what was a game changer with shooting a bow from a horse? You know what invention changed everything?
Probably stirrups.
Thank you.
Yeah, because they can hang over the side.
That's right. Well, you can also stand up and break, so it's like you can stay steady and then shoot. The
Comanche used to run very similarly. Like that guy is fucking badass.
That's a Mongol, bro.
That guy is so badass.
That's where that guy Shavkat comes from, I think. Look at that.
But the kind of core strength you have to do what that guy was just doing. Go back to that first one, Jamie.
They live on horses.
Oh, is it a YouTube or something?
You know who can ride horses like that? Who's that good at horses? Sylvester Stallone. He grew up on horses. This. Oh my God.
Bro, that kind of strength to be able to hang completely sideways. Like when it starts in the beginning, that's not as impressive as the very first frame. Dude. Go to the very first frame. Look at his positioning. That's is ridiculous. Bananas. That's bananas. Like his spine and his core are it must be so fucking strong.
Think about fighting him. If you've got a sword and you have to deal with a group of those dudes.
There's a lot of bad motherfuckers from that part of the world, bro. A lot of bad motherfuckers.
Yeah. Where they hunt with eagles.
Shavkat is actually from the place that Borat used to always make fun of.
Kazakhstan?
Kazakhstan. And they hate him. They're like, if he comes there, they're going to kill him.
I bet.
Yeah, like because they made everybody look like a goat fucker and a retard, and meanwhile they're like some of the fiercest fucking human beings on earth.
Yeah.
You know, like Shavkat, unfortunately, just injured his knee again.
He did?
Yeah, man. He had surgery in his knee, was rehabbing his knee, and blew it out again. And now he has to have another surgery, and now it's 10 months. There's a few guys that I've known who have done that, where they got ACL reconstruction. I don't know if Shavkat had ACL, but any kind of reconstruction of the ligaments, you feel better before you're better. And you got to be real careful. You got to be real careful because what happens is when you get a reconstruction of your knee, it's like say if they use a cadaver, that does not become your new tendon. What that does is becomes a scaffolding for your new tendon. And so your body has to proliferate that scaffolding of the dead guy's tendon with fresh tendon meat.
Really?
And eventually it becomes your tendon.
But you have to wait for it to do that.
You have to wait. But it feels good right away. But you've got a rotten old piece of meat in there that your body is taking over with its own tissue.
Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't you have that done?
I had that done, yeah.
And how long did it take you?
6 months.
Really?
Yeah. 6 months I was doing jiu-jitsu again.
But you couldn't do anything until then?
No, I was being really smart. I was really smart about it because that was my second knee reconstruction. I had my left knee reconstructed too. That was a patella tendon graft, and that one took a lot longer to heal because you're taking a chip out of your bone, a chip out of your shin, and a slice of your patella tendon, which is a very thick, large tendon, and then they open you up like a fish and screw both of them in place. It's very invasive. Whereas the one on the right knee, the ACL reconstruction with a cadaver, was a really easy recovery. Like I went to a party like 6 days later with just a brace on, just walking around.
Damn.
Yeah, it was not bad at all. I mean, I was careful with it, you know, but I was very diligent with the rehab, like every day. I was doing rehab every day and like really doing it, like not bullshitting around. I was doing I would go in the steam shower and do deep squats and
wow.
I was really making sure that
I
rebuilt all the tissue before I ever even thought about doing jiu-jitsu again. But jiu-jitsu 6 months later, no problem at all.
Wow. What protects me is my moderate temperament. I'm good at you being like, I can feel a little something. I'll be stopping now. You know, you probably don't have that gene. You just keep going.
I'm terrible at that. That's why I get hurt sometimes because I meathead my way through things.
Fuck.
I just decide to push through the pain, and next thing you know, you got something legitimately wrong.
Well, that's it. Like I was doing toes to bar, where you and hanging, and my wrist has never been the same. Like,
you hurt your wrist?
Yeah, I broke something or did something where there's a certain angles. I know, but the problem is you're way more fragile than you realize.
You are, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I unfortunately.
You know what I've been doing
all I want to be
every
is
day?
tougher.
Every day I hang for 2 minutes. Every day. Every day.
It's really good.
And it's new. I've only been doing it like the last few weeks.
What do you get out of it?
I think I feel better, like my spine feels better. I've been doing a bunch of things at the same time, so it's hard to tell what has the most impact. I think they all have a lot of impact, but one of the things I've been doing is I go to this guy and get trigger point work,
right?
Trigger point massage. It's so painful. It's
really?
Some of the most fucking. It's not massage. You can call it massage. It's this guy's digging elbows and knuckles into your IT band and
my
different
calves.
parts.
If you do that to my calves, I'll fucking cry.
Different parts of your spine, different parts of your calves, your legs, your lower back, all that stuff. But also hanging every day. And the more I hang, in the beginning, I was like, I wonder if this is gonna really help anything, or if it's just me trying to see how long I can hang.
Yeah.
And so now I do 2 minutes. I just hang there for 2 minutes.
That's a long time, by the way.
Yeah. I can go to 2:37. That's the longest I've gone. Right now I'm like 2:02.
But I wonder, it probably first of all makes your hands really strong.
It makes my hands real strong.
Yeah.
They're very callous now, like maybe more callous than they've ever been. They've always been kind of callous from kettlebells, but now I'm getting different ones, like on the front fingers, the pointer fingers. I always get my calluses on the right where the ring finger is for some reason on both hands. That's the biggest calluses. I guess that's where I grip the hardest or where it grinds around the most. But my back feels better. It just feels like looser. Like and I'm like, okay, well, I've only done this for a few weeks every day. Like, what if I do this every day for a year? Like, what happens? Can you actually decompress your spine? Well, it turns out you can.
You can, yeah.
So I started going on YouTube and following people's hanging journeys.
Yeah.
This is one lady. I guess she broke the world record. She hung for 23 minutes.
What?
What?
Isn't it funny
What?
how the human body, if you can train yourself to do almost anything, how you can adapt, but that's nuts.
There's people out there that are just different than you.
There are people, I know that.
They have, not just you, like everybody listening, they have a different will. Their will is different. The kind of will that you have to hang from a bar for 23 fucking minutes is so crazy.
This guy does it for 2 hours and 22 minutes.
What?
He keeps switching arms, obviously, but
Yeah,
it's the
you know
the
what?
whole
Life
thing
is too
Oh,
long.
I think that lady has the ladies' record.
Life is too short to hang from a bar that long.
2 hours and 22 minutes. That's pretty crazy.
It's
though.
crazy.
That guy must be a fucking some kind of crazy rock climber, right?
His body looks pretty normal.
Well, it's all really about your hands and your grip. If you are a rock climber, I mean, you have to have leg strength and flexibility and a bunch of other things as well, for sure.
Yeah.
But God, your grip is what keeps you alive. Without
yeah.
your grip, you don't have jack shit.
Right.
But this lady that was doing it, I was just watching her doing it. She was doing the same thing. She was like switching hands and shit. So you give your left hand a break, and then you hold on with your right hand. You give your right hand a break,
Yeah.
hold on with your left. Yeah.
I think your body. I do it. I find that the game changer for me was when I stopped stretching and started strengthening. Right, so you can stretch. You should do some stretching, but my routine before I wrestle or something is to strengthen. So I'll warm it up. So I do strengthening exercises for my lower back and all that stuff. Right.
Like planks. And
Yeah,
stuff like
or just
that.
just like bird dogs and fire hydrants and
Yeah.
all that shit. And that stuff that's been the game changer. Like with my shoulders, I was getting tendonitis, right? And then I just started doing all these different shoulder things with bands right before I do it. And sure enough, you get stronger. My neck, same thing. My neck, people don't work their neck like as they get older at all. I think your neck is really important.
Oh, for sure. What do you do?
I do that iron,
I got that thing.
and then I get
Iron
a band
neck.
sometimes, and I'll just turn like that. Like I'll be on my.
The best thing about the iron neck, in my opinion, is there's other stuff that you could do, like harnesses, where you do like chin ups with your or like not chin ups like you think of, but like you have this harness around your head, and then there's a chain, and at the end of the chain is a dumbbell, and then what you're doing is you're just using your neck to lift the weights. The guy from Iron Neck had a real good point. He's like that puts like weird stress on all those different discs.
It does?
Yeah.
Wait,
It's
so
a
when you're
lot of
doing this-
pain. When you're
Huh.
And he's like, you can really get hurt. Whereas what you want to do is strengthen your neck so that it doesn't do that, right? In all sports. In sports, it's very rare that you use your neck like that.
Wrestling.
I used to use my neck in jiu-jitsu, and I actually started developing a problem. I had a bulging disc for a while. And it was also definitely getting caught and not tapping like a dumbass. But two, it was arm triangles. I had a really good arm triangle, head and arm choke. So if I got mount on someone and I was able to isolate that arm, I have a really good head and arm choke. But in that head and arm choke, I'm using my neck. That's part of the reason why it's good, because I have a thick neck. So because if I can get your arm right here, I got another weapon.
Yes.
Like you thinking about my arms holding on to you, but I'm holding on to you with this. And this is strong as fuck. If I get you in this position and I'm holding that arm there. But the problem was I was developing like a real pinched nerve, and then it wound up making my fingertips numb. And then that's when I found out that chiropractors are quacks. I went to a chiropractor for like a year and just gave this guy money to bullshit me. It was like, God damn it. It made me so mad.
Did he press on your foot?
Pressed on the top of my head to see if I had a bulging disc. I'm not kidding. I go, maybe I have a bulging disc. And like, I just thought this guy was cool. I thought he was a doctor as well. I did know that chiropractors go to 0 days of medical school and they get to call themselves a doctor. I also didn't know that chiropractic, the whole idea of it was founded by a magnetic healer who, like, it came to him like a seance or some shit. He was a complete fraud. And his son, who was a con artist, took over the business. Son ran over him with a car, by the way. Killed that guy.
Really?
Yeah, son killed the dad, ran over him with a car.
Sociopath.
And then took over his business, and then started saying that the cracking people's backs can fix leukemia and all kinds of shit.
Sure. You have to align your meridian points.
Oh yeah, all that horseshit. It's all made up stuff. But there is something beneficial about manipulating your spine, though. This is what's interesting, right? There's something beneficial about massage and a lot of the other things that they're doing. They're essentially loosening up like this trigger point shit that I told you I've been doing. That's the extreme version of it, which I think is way more effective. But there's something to the manipulation.
Well,
but
it releases the muscle, right?
But there's also a lot of people that have had fucking serious consequences of getting their neck cracked, where they have strokes.
Correct.
And like things fuck. Like there's a guy I just saw on the news the other day that had compartment syndrome, where he's like he can't move his body anymore. Because he went to a chiropractor, and before he's like this like smiley, happy guy, like
nightmare.
And again, this is not all chiropractors. A lot of chiropractors, I'm sure, give you benefit because I think there's something to like loosening you up.
Well, no, it's not just
pushing
that.
on you, and there's a physical therapy aspect. This episode is brought to you by Simply Safe. The world can be scary sometimes. I mean, take the news for example. It feels like we hear about something outrageous happening every week. Now, more than ever, it's more important to have a security system for your safety and peace of mind, and Simply Safe is one of the best options out there, partly because of how proactive it is. It can help stop and prevent crime in real time. AI-powered cameras can detect suspicious activity and alert security agents who can immediately take action. They can speak to intruders, warn them away, flash lights and sirens, and dispatch police. With how great a job it does, no long-term contracts, and no hidden fees, it's easy to see why Simply Safe continues to be named Best Home Security Systems by U.S. News and World Report. Try it out right now. My listeners can get 50% off a Simply Safe home security system at simplysafe.com/Rogan. That's 50% off at simplysafe.com/Rogan. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Some chiropractors know what you're talking about, so when they go into it, they study physical therapy. So I had a chiropractor say to me, "Your hips are you're atrophying. Your ass is atrophying on the bottom, so you have to strengthen that part because it'll bring your hips into alignment." And he was dead. He was right on.
Yeah.
So those guys who study that,
but that's what he really is.
Correct.
He shouldn't be saying he's a doctor.
Correct.
That's what's crazy. It's not that there's no benefit to it. It's like they all want to call themselves doctor too. You know, I'm Dr. Rogan. Like, come on.
Yeah. You know who you know Squat University? You ever follow that account? Oh, dude. That guy, everybody I know, like, he trains Olympic weightlifters and real Olympians, and he'll show you what he knows the body so well. And this is the greatest. I DM him because people I respect were talking about how they follow him. Like I know a lot of trainers who follow him and stuff. And if you go to his thing, you'll see he demonstrates how somebody will have an impingement. This is an Olympic weightlifter or something, pain for 2 years, and then he'll give them an exercise. Literally an exercise, and it will actually change them almost instantaneously or within a couple of days, right? And because he really understands the body. So I had heel pain, really bad heel pain. I would wake up and I couldn't walk. So it's like, was it plantar fasciitis? What's going on?
You had gout, son.
Yeah, right? And so I go to a couple of podiatrists, and they make me the implants. It's like you just need arch support and all that. I DM him. I can't remember his name. And he said, you know, I'm going to send you a video on a guy. Your shoes may be too narrow. And what's going on?
You do wear those fucking goofy
No, not anymore, bro.
Dress shoes.
Bro,
what do you got
all
on
of those
today?
I got my Nikes on. But I would wear those kind of, you know, you want to be cool. And what was happening was my big toes being every time I would wear a blazer, I would sometimes be like, I'm going to wear a blazer and a collared shirt, and I'd walk in and you'd go, hey, you teaching substitute school? You a substitute teacher again? I'd be like, fuck this, man, take it off. So much for that. Anytime I wear a collared shirt, you
were wearing slippery shoes.
Oh yeah,
you were wearing those weird dress shoes that are slippery.
I try to change it up. I'm like, I'm going to dress like an adult. I want to be like Jordan Peterson, but it never lasts.
Be an adult.
Can't do it.
Yeah, you got to give up on that.
But he told me, he said, I think what's happening is your big toes being pushed in, and sometimes that cuts blood off to your heel. So your heel is actually getting necrosis, it's actually dying. You're not getting blood.
But wait
there.
a minute, the blood has to go through the heel to get to the big.
So
it's not like does it go that way?
Yep, there's an artery.
It goes all the way to the end.
When you push here,
which is the end of the line, which is your toes.
As a doctor, I can tell you, as you push here,
and then it turns around and goes through the heel.
When this happens, it blocks blood flow. It blocks the artery that's taking blood there. I wore wide toe shoes like that. Within 5 days, all my pain was gone.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That makes sense, though.
And no podiatrist knew that. He did, because he studies the body, because he works with
Right.
the top athletes, and if he doesn't get results, he doesn't get paid. That's what you have to look at.
Do podiatrists ever tell you should do foot exercises? Well, do you go to a podiatrist and they say what you really need to do is wear barefoot shoes and pull a sled? You know, like you want to do foot exercises. Do you use some of those like Vivo barefoot shoes and pull a sled?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll get strong.
You'll feel every little part of your foot like pushing, and that's how they're supposed to engage. You know, traditional shoes are essentially like a cast. There's this hard thing that separates you from the ground, so your toes don't articulate and push, and everything is just like from the leg into this cast, and that pushes down because there's like this big spongy hard surface that you put your fucking foot into.
How much do you do? How often? Like how many? You work out like how long a day?
Every day, at least an hour.
That's a lot.
I like to do a couple hours though, because I like to have like, especially when I'm strength training, I like to have long weights in between exercises. It allows you to fully recover before you do it again.
How heavy do you go?
That's it's all based on Pavel Tsatsouline. It's all from the Russians, like how they would train kettlebells. And his philosophy is that strength is a skill, and you should never do a skill when you're tired. So if you're doing like power cleans, like if I'm doing cleans and presses, I'm waiting 5 minutes in between each set. I'm waiting a long time. Mm-hmm.
Really?
At least, sometimes 10.
So you're doing Olympic,
and I don't care.
Olympic weightlifting.
No, kettlebell stuff.
Oh, okay.
So I'm cleaning and pressing like the heaviest I usually use is like 70 pounds. Every now and then I'll fuck around. I have I have a Bigfoot one that's like 92. I'll bust out some reps with the Bigfoot. But most of the time I'm doing 70 pounds. That's my heaviest.
And what is that for you?
So I do 3 sets of 10 cleans and presses.
And by the 10th, how tired are you?
Not tired at all. That's the whole thing. The whole thing is you get all the reps that you would get if you smashed them all together. If you only took like a minute off in between each set and went through it. So you get all the strength. But what you're not doing is you're not operating under fatigue. So it's not.
So you're not pushing failure?
No. And it's not a muscular endurance thing. No, you're not pushing failure at all, which is also I thought was crazy. The philosophy is it's not the failure that gets you strong. It's the amount of repetitions. The whole thing is the amount of repetitions. Now, if you do 3 sets of 10 and you do them back to back, boy, you get to that third set, you might barely be able to get up that 10th rep. Right, because you're exhausted because you've done cleans and presses. You gave yourself like a minute rest in between sets, and then you went and did it again, and a minute rest in between the third set, and then you're fucking tired as shit.
Right.
But if you're waiting 10 minutes in between each set, you're doing the same amount of work, but easily. So you have a less of a chance of getting hurt. And your goal is not muscular endurance. Your goal when you're doing strength training is just strength. That's what you're trying to do. So the whole way to get strong is not going to failure. This is their philosophy. You can argue it if you want, and especially bodybuilders, I'm sure, would argue with it because it's a different thing. We're just trying to get massive. But his thought is if you can do, say, 20 reps to failure, don't do that. Do 10. And then wait a long time and then do another 10. And it's just as good as doing 20 sets to failure.
Really?
Yeah. The whole thing that gets you strong is just work. It's just the numbers. And it allows your body to fully recover so that you can when you lift it up, like if you go to clean the second set, you're fully engaged, you feel good, you feel rested, you feel strong, and then you bust out those sets and then you wait again. I wait fucking maybe 10 minutes. I'm just sitting around.
10 minutes?
Yeah, I watch a YouTube video, maybe I stretch. And then I get out and I do it again. So those are the long days. So when I have a lot of time, that's how I like to work out. I like to work out in these long 2-hour chunks.
I got small kids, bro. It's never happening.
Yeah, but if you get up in the morning, you can do it. If you get up before everybody else, or if you do it when everybody's asleep, you could do it. Yeah. But the point is, if you want to like that, that's a way to get strong that I think you lessen your chances of injury. You're always got a chance of injury. You're lifting heavy things. But I don't lift things that are that heavy. And the heaviest thing I lift really is my body. I do a lot of body weight squats,
Right.
a lot of
Pull-ups?
body weight stuff, pull-ups, dips, chin-ups. Yeah, I do a lot of stuff. L chin-ups. Where your feet are extended and you're doing chin-ups like
Right,
this. I do a
right,
lot of
right,
those,
right.
and I do those toe to bars. I do those like
All
you were
those things
talking about.
suck, but
Those
they're
suck,
good.
but they're really good for your abs.
Yeah.
I do a lot of ab stuff. I have like a heavy core ab routine, but I've always kind of done that. It's like really important for kicking. Like
Right.
kicking, people think it's in the legs, and it certainly is, but a lot of it is in the torque that you generate with your core. That's really where the power comes from. It comes from here. A real powerful kick is all from, it's all, and the leg kind of follows
Yeah.
through with it. But when you dig into it, if you have a weak core, there's no way you're going to generate enough force to even get that leg moving correctly.
I love that we're 58 and talking about the importance of kicking and torque.
I could think that way. I could think,
No, I
I'm
know.
58. Why do I think
No,
like that?
love
But I
it.
just
love
think
it.
what I like.
I was just working on my
Yeah.
double leg. What are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
But
I know.
also, more importantly, I do the work to make sure that my body can still do this at 58. If you're like
how I
58
feel.
and you're a mailman and you've been drinking every night and you haven't gone to the gym in 6 months, you're like, I'm going to go kick the bag. Like, slow down.
Slow down.
Slow down. You're going to get hurt.
Start at 5 minutes.
Yeah, you got to build, like you say, oh, Rogan hangs for 2 minutes. I'm going to go hang for 2 minutes. First of all, you're not.
Yeah.
And you're going to hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Like, don't. If you want to start hang for 15 seconds. Just do that
I
every
tell
day
people
for
that.
15 seconds. And then one day you'll be able to do 30 pretty easy. And then next thing you know, you'll be doing a minute.
I always say that to people. I say, don't worry. Hey, you're going to get back to working out. You don't have to do an hour.
if
Actually,
you're getting
start with
back
10
to
minutes.
working out,
Start with 10 minutes. man.
Super light.
Literally 10
Yeah,
minutes.
you don't want to do much.
Yeah,
Push-ups,
keep it fun.
sit-ups, body weight squats, that's it.
Just feel the difference. So you feel like stimulated. You have energy, right? Instead of
Yeah.
like my old trainer, I love him, Lou Parada. He would say, "Stimulate, don't annihilate." He was the same way. He's 60, he's 70 now. Same thing.
Yeah, because that's the thing about being a meathead. It's like your meatheadedness can actually get in the way of progress.
Yeah.
Like you can actually learn better if you're not exhausted, right? But there's like a lot of jiu-jitsu schools that have you do shit like when I used to train at Carlson Gracie's, the warm-up was so brutal that by the time you got to actually training, that was like a break. It was a break. At least I can hold on to this guy. I don't have to fucking do somersaults over and over again. You would do all these different body weight things. They would do like duck walks and bear crawls, but their idea was, hey, you should be fit enough that you could do all this shit and it's easy. And then you start training, and then you're fit to train, and it'll help your training. And they're right. They're right. However, if you're trying to teach people something, the worst way to teach them is when they're exhausted. So if you can say, like Carl Gotch, famously, he's a famous catch wrestling guru who was a great wrestler back in, I think it was like the 50s and 60s, back when catch wrestling was legit. Like they would
What is catch wrestling?
It's an American-style submission wrestling that a lot of these submissions actually, when you think about
Is that Ken
jiu-jitsu.
Shamrock and stuff?
No, Ken Shamrock had a little bit of that for sure. Ken Shamrock he was a hybrid. He did a lot of training in
Sambo.
Japan, and he was a leg lock guy before anybody was. Like Ken Shamrock won some of the early UFCs with heel hooks.
Yeah.
Nobody even knew what the fuck was going on. And he was also a massive human being too. That was part of it. Like Ken Shamrock was fucking jacked.
Strong
He was
as
so
shit.
strong. But their whole thing was all about conditioning. Like the Lion's Den, they had this famous crucible they would put recruits through. Like if you wanted to train with the Lion's Den,
You had to go
you
through
had to
that.
go through hell. They had this crazy, like Bud style strength and conditioning routine. Then you had to spar everybody. You had to spar the whole team. They beat the fuck out of each other. Because back in those days, nobody knew what sparring light was all about.
No.
Like everybody
Knock each other out. and
everybody
stuff.
beat the fuck out of each other. So it's like, but that's not, you produce animals when you do that, but you're not going to produce the most technical guys for most of the people. Most of the most technical guys, what they think of, you have to compartmentalize two different things. Like toughness, like in training, if you're doing cardio, if you're doing hill sprints, if you're doing, live drills, there's toughness, but then there's also, you got to really know technique. And technique is the king of all.
was
And when it
boxing.
comes to
That's
MMA,
boxing.
sure.
You know?
But in jiu-jitsu, it's even more important.
Yeah.
In MMA, it's even more important because there's more aspects to the game. And if you, did you see the UFC this weekend? Did you see Oliveira versus Gamrot?
No.
Bro, it was a tour de force of jiu-jitsu.
Really?
The moment Gamrot, because Gamrot is a sick wrestler. Mataus Gamrot, he's a nasty wrestler.
Where's he from? Like Kazakhstan.
That part of the world that you're terrified of?
Yeah.
I don't want to misspeak.
The old country, the hills.
Poland. There you go. Hard-ass motherfucker. Beast of a wrestler. I mean, just a fucking animal.
Yeah.
He took Charles Oliveira down right away and was immediately in terrible trouble. Like every step of the way. He was getting omoplated and triangled and this and that. And Oliveira just dominated him on the ground.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to stand-up, well, Oliveira's better at stand-up
Yeah,
than him.
monster.
So they go on the feet, and Gamrot's fucked. He's getting lit up on the feet by Oliveira, and then Oliveira takes him down and strangles him, takes his back, and chokes him out.
I'm so glad I love
The
Oliveira.
first guy to ever finish Gamrot. But it just showed the importance of technique.
Yes.
Technique, finishing technique, not just holding technique and taking guy down technique, which Gamrot has a fuckload of.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have the jiu-jitsu technique that Oliveira has. But he could have. He could have had that.
Right.
As good a wrestler as he is,
Yeah.
if that guy just and Eddie Bravo used to say this years and years and years ago. He was like, if these wrestlers, they all want to study like anti-jiu-jitsu. They all want to take everybody down and have,
Stay on
just
top.
avoid the jiu-jitsu, avoid the submissions. That's what they concentrate on the
smash.
most. He's like, instead of just learning all those submissions and just annihilating people. But they, in their mind, they were competing against jiu-jitsu.
Oh, that's
So it was
interesting.
like the wrestlers
Yeah.
had to show we're the toughest.
Yes.
We're going to get on top and
My
ground
tribe
and
is
pound.
better than your tribe.
100%.
Wow.
And Eddie was like, if they could just abandon that and fall in love with jiu-jitsu, they'd be the most dangerous people alive.
Wow.
Because they're already
That's
the best
so
at
interesting.
grappling.
That's so interesting, and that makes total sense.
Total sense.
Learning your enemy, like
Yes.
really learning.
Well,
really,
just stop being on a team.
yeah.
You're trying to be a fighter.
Right.
If you're an MMA fighter, stop this I represent Taekwondo shit.
That's
no,
right.
you don't. You're just, you have
Well,
some
you and
skills.
I talk about that. Don't let the fact that you have an idea in your head. See, we all have we form these ideas. A lot of those ideas are informed by where I am emotionally to begin with. I'm defending something.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, I'm going to be defending how I grew up, my parents, what's worked for me,
My city.
all that shit. My culture. And what happens is you start identifying with your ideas. And it's just an idea. So be open to having your mind changed based on evidence.
Well, just
right?
don't be married to your ideas.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But the most important thing is think about Bruce Lee, right?
Mm-hmm.
What did he figure out? He figured out before anybody, absorb what is useful.
Yeah.
Take from all martial arts.
Yes.
You don't have to
Be
call
agnostic.
it a new thing anymore because Jeet Kune Do is what we're all doing, really.
Mm.
Well, if you're doing MMA, you're doing Jeet Kune Do. You're doing what he just said, take a little bit of everything that works,
Yeah.
no matter what it is.
But also like technique, like when you watch how they bring boxers up, like Virgil Hunter, in his camp, like Andre Berto and Andre Ward. Man, to watch how they, like the old school boxers, I love watching them. I love watching how they train. Like they do stuff like everything you do, like this guy, Coach Anthony, people like that, if you watch them, everything is considered. And you work on your jab. You work on how to set that jab up. Gordon Ryan talks about that too, like with jiu-jitsu. Start on the bottom. How's your half guard? What's it like? How do you get out of a mount? Start your entire repertoire, your technique at the worst part. And understand that. But with boxing, when you watch like footwork, it's all footwork, man. It's such a different thing. It's like how you step, where you punch from. It's not
That
about
was
punching.
Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Crawford. Crawford always had his
dude.
foot on the outside. He
But
was in
his
perfect
defense-
position. Defense was flawless.
I love watching that.
That was a masterclass.
It was a
masterclass because there was one point in the fight where Terrence was pity patting him.
Mm-hmm.
So what he'll do is he'll pity pat you and then load up with big shots. But he was so dominant that he could stand in front of Canelo Alvarez, who's one of the most feared boxers
One of
in
the
history
greats of all time.
of the sport, no doubt. And Terrence Crawford is sitting in front of him going, pat, 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 whip, pat, 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 bip.
Damn.
Just it was crazy. I was like,
know.
look at he's pity patting him, which is almost disrespectful.
Well, you know what
disrespectful.
Alvarez said? He goes, I couldn't figure him out. How about that?
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out. That's what I think fighting is at the highest level. It's two people trying to solve.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are these patterns you're doing? How can I cut you off before you finish that pattern? Duran used to. People would say when they fought Duran, they would say he's reading my mind.
Yeah,
And they would say he's reading my mind because he knew he could see what you were doing. He'd been there. He's like, I know where you're going with
He
this.
was also so raw. He might have been reading your mind.
Fuck, man.
He was such a savage. In his early days, like people see Duran. You see Duran like when he fought Davey Moore and Iran Barkley and those guys. That's a Duran that's 30 plus pounds over his best fighting weight. His best fighting weight was 135.
Dude, he fought, and Iran Barkley was, I think, fought at 67, maybe even bigger, and he fought him at that weight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He knocked him out.
Yeah.
Go see if you can find Roberto Duran versus Ken Buchanan. This is when he won the lightweight title, when he was young and like super skinny, way before he fought Leonard.
It's crazy.
It's probably a black and white fight.
As close to a
actually.
human pit bull as possible.
He was a fucking badger, dude.
Yeah.
Just a ferocious man with excellent technique.
Yeah. That's what
Who just
poverty,
tearing people apart.
That's what not having enough food, literally, in
Yeah.
Panama does to you.
Yeah, and also a long history of combat sports in Panama as well. This is like it's not like a unique thing to be a boxer in Panama. So you're dealing with iron sharpens iron, excellent technique. Oh, it is in color.
He was so beautiful.
But boy, look how shitty it looks. What
was-
year is this?
Yeah, I
72?
know.
It's upscaled, so it's
This is
It's upscaled.
This is what every UFO video is.
Bro, he was so
And
good.
they use this
Look
camera.
how skinny he is. Wow, it's crazy.
Yeah, bro. When you are a real boxer like that, that's what you do. You don't look muscle bound.
Well, in his defense, I mean, he was a young man, and he was a lot thicker when he fought Leonard at 47. He looked a lot better.
He's got a Bryan Callen body. That's what I like about it.
But he hit him low a lot as well. He was very rough. Like in the infighting, occasionally
Yeah.
he would
Great infighter.
probably knew where the referee was too. You know, back then there was no instant replay.
You ever
Ken
see-
Buchanan was very good too.
You ever see me getting a boxing lesson from Sugar Ray Leonard in Sylvester Stallone's house? You ever see that? I put it
No,
on Instagram.
no,
It
we're
was
watching really good boxing. I don't know why you even
Sorry,
bring that up.
buddy. Sorry. Oh, he got caught there.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, Ken Buchanan was legit.
Damn. Wow.
I mean, it was a crazy fight, but these
Was this at 35?
Mm-hmm. And this was for the lightweight title. But
35.
it was a crazy scrap of a fight, man. Scoot ahead so you could watch
Jesus.
some of like the later action.
Buchanan was something else, huh?
Oh yeah, he was world champion.
You know, I'd never heard of him until just now.
He was a tough guy.
Wow. Is he wearing a
I'm pretty
kilt?
sure that's how Duran won the title. I don't think Duran was defending the title. I think Duran.
Oh.
Ooh.
Look at that shot. Dude.
Bro, when you watch these guys and you think about like how long it takes to get this good at boxing.
Yeah,
Like,
30
how much
years.
time had no, he wasn't that old
No, I'm
yet.
saying.
But how much time is spent like trying to under fire figure out when to connect to someone's face?
No, I was saying.
when to rip to the body.
What's his name? Crawford said this has been a 30-year career. He's been fighting for 30 years.
Oh yeah,
Like,
if you
think
think
about
about it. Well, and also Terrence Crawford's been fighting smart for 30 years. He doesn't get hit a lot,
That's like
which is nuts.
that's guy Hopkins. Hopkins never
Mm-hmm.
got hurt.
I mean, until he fought Joe Smith and
That
got
was-
knocked out of the ring
he was
and fell
50.
on his head.
50 with a gray
Yeah.
beard.
Crazy.
50. By the way, fought from 40 to 50. What nobody could beat him, and in a division that required speed.
Mm-hmm.
Never got hit. He's a genius.
Yeah, he's one of the all-time
He's
greats
to me
as well.
like people talk about the greatest athletes and stuff. They never talk about what he was able to accomplish at his age in that division. That has to be part of the conversation.
Well, by the time he fought Felix Trinidad, people thought he was done already.
Unbelievable.
I think he was 36 at the time when he knocked out Trinidad. People thought he was over. And then, he just,
Have you had him on this podcast?
yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, man.
I'm a
I
huge
love
fan of that guy.
God, so smart.
And, his lessons from prison, too.
Mm.
He's like, I'm never going back. And
Yeah.
they said to him when he's leaving,
You'll
we'll
be
see you
back."
soon.
Uh-huh.
He's like, no, not me, bitch. And just lived
He used
a
to run
very...
with a tennis ball, apparently.
Yeah.
That's obsession.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that's how you become a Bernard Hopkins.
That's how you get out of where
Yeah.
you are, too. Right?
Exactly.
You got to plan
exactly.
your escape.
The thing about Terrence, though, is like Terrence is like an artist. Like what he did in there is like, God, I go watch clips from that fight over and over again, probably for decades. He's an artist.
Yeah.
Like what he's doing in there is like, he's like not just beating you, he's beating Canelo Alvarez and kind of making him look a little silly and doing it with the highest stakes humanly possible with a guy that can break your face with one punch.
Oh.
I mean, missiles are headed his way, and he's like, nope.
I know.
Nope.
Catching the shots.
Not here, but I'm here. Bam! He hit him so many times where Canelo had whiffed, and then he would counter. It's like, God, that's so pretty. That's so pretty because, like, to be in the fire. So, like, there's guys that could move real good, and they were really hard to hit, like Willie Pep. You know, Willie Pep had crazy footwork. Mayweather, but stand right in front of you, though. It's a bad example. Because what I'm saying is, like, these guys that are hard to hit that aren't moving, they're right in front of you, and you can't hit them. God. That's Mayweather. Like, but there's guys they were hard to hit, but they were real mobile. Like Michael Venom Page in MMA is a great example. You can't hit that dude.
So beautiful.
She's moving in and out so fast. Like, you can't.
I heard he was at the mothership.
Yeah,
I was there, but I missed him.
See, look at this. Boom. I mean, look at these. There's missiles coming his way. He's like, nope, pop.
Oh, my God.
Bro, he's so slick. Like, every time Canelo would
Look at that.
throw
You see him
shots
catch
up-
that? You see him catch that body shot with his elbow?
Yep.
You're not touching
Catch
him.
it and then
Look at that.
fire right
Oh, there
back.
we
And
go.
he
All
did
right.
get tagged a couple times.
But-
But even there, as Canelo rushes in, he gets popped.
You make one mistake with Canelo, though, you're going out. Like, that's,
yeah.
That margin
Look
for
at
error.
this.
Look
Like,
at
this
this.
is so
and he
pretty.
catches it. Bop,
Look at
bop, bop.
that. That is so pretty.
Look at that.
And to do that 2 weight classes above the normal weight. That is a 1 weight class above the previous world championship that he held.
Right. Meanwhile, he was 187. Do you know that?
Yeah. Oh no. Listen, man. When I talked to him, I talked to him on the podcast a couple of years ago, and he wanted this fight really bad.
How thick was he?
He was normal size, you know, but he did it the right way. He took a long time in between
build
fights. He did a lot of deadlifts and there's a lot of like strength and conditioning videos of him where you see him like really working hard and really like put on quality mass, where he did it slowly over he didn't get roided up and then just gain a bunch of muscle. It's useless. He did it smoothly and slowly, so he kept all of his skills, but now he had more size and now he had more strength. All skills, all speed, everything was still there. Because that's an illusion, too. People think you're going to get slower if you get bigger. That's not real. It depends. You're not going to get, unless you get really crazy bodybuilder big, like Mr. Olympia big. But Evander Holyfield didn't slow down when he moved up to heavyweight. He actually got more fit and picked up his punching power. You know, it's like you can put on muscle and you can get stronger and still be fast. And Terrence totally showed that in that fight. That fight was just... that fight was what boxing is really all about.
Yeah, it's like boxing is one of the few, it's such an honest place in this crazy world where I don't know where the fuck the truth is. Like, I don't know
Until
about
you get the judge's decision.
Yeah, well, that's true.
That's a
fucking
problem.
true. Yeah.
That's a problem with MMA, too.
It is. But even that is a little bit like, I've been pretty good at predicting after the fight, kind of going, I think this guy won. You know, it used to be
Terrence
pretty bad.
almost got fucked in that fight. He was
that's
if
true.
he didn't win the last 2 rounds, he would have lost that fight.
Well, Canelo's so loved, you know.
That's not good.
No.
I mean, in terms of like a judge, you shouldn't be looking at how much someone's loved. You should be looking at, of course, everybody loves Canelo.
I wonder
love Canelo,
but I wonder if
but
the
once he
judge-
gets into the ring, you have to judge him on his performance in the ring. Period. That's it.
I know, but you know, human beings, you love somebody, you already have.
I
in
know
your mind.
corruption, Brian.
Yeah.
I know Vegas odds.
That's
I know gambling. There's a lot.
There is,
There's
huh?
a lot you have to take into consideration. A lot of these people live in Vegas. You don't think they know fucking
They know some people.
degenerate gamblers?
Yeah.
You don't think they owe money? You don't think maybe something's going on?
Yeah.
Like a lot of these guys, and gals, by the way, they were connected to super shady people back in the day, and decisions were fucked with.
Do you remember that
because
fight?
of gambling odds?
Yeah. What was that when Bradley? Remember, was
Manny
it Tim Bradley?
Pacquiao, Tim Bradley, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that same lady, she also she'd scored a few that were like, what? But that was a big one. That was a
Yeah.
big one. But that's also, you have to think of that when you see a big fucking decision like that where it's funky. You got to go, if I was a gambler, like all you have to do is get one person, say if you're betting on a split decision, you have to just one person in the bag. You just got one person that scores it the other way no matter what, and you give that person $200,000, and now you're going to make $20 million. That's real. Like, people do stuff like that. At least they have in the past. Of course they have.
Well, let me ask you this: as as with AI, and as we get better and better at these videos, that you can't tell whether it's real or not. I really wonder.
Maybe it's good. Maybe just stop looking.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking.
We're wasting our fucking lives staring at our phone.
That's right. That's what my whole special is about. It's called False Gods, because that is what we're bent over in prayer with. We're always looking at it all the time. That dopamine scroll, right? We're just a nation of drug addicts.
If there was a drug that made you stare at your hand all day, you'd avoid that drug like the plague.
That's literally the theme of what I wrote about, because I was like, I find myself... Like, I find myself going, I'm not going to look at my phone, and then I get sucked in. And there's fun, good things to watch, whether it's old interviews, whether it's snippets of this, but it's a highlight reel, man.
It's like mining for gold, though, in a really shitty spot. Like, you're not getting a lot of gold.
No, you're not.
Every now and then you get a little gold flake, some funny meme. Yeah. And then I'll send it to all my friends. But I find out the really funny ones, they make it to me anyway.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I really want. I really want the funny things. So the funny things, like funny memes and shit like that, they'll make it to me no matter what.
You know what I've done? I was listening to a political podcast. My buddy walked by, said something so cool, because he's done really well in life, and he goes, "Oh, you listening to the weather again?" And I was like, "Fuck, man, I am. I'm either listening because I want somebody to confirm my bias, or I'm listening because I maybe want to hear something I kind of already know, or it'll be a different twist that somehow in my mind I can use as an argument against somebody I already disagree with."
Ew.
It's all that shit, right? And
Ew.
I'm fucking reading novels now. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm fucking done.
Well, novels are cool.
Yeah. My problem is, I don't think you do this at all, but I do know there are people, you can make a lot of money in the podcast space, in the influencer space, if you draw strong good guy, bad guy narratives. And if you can make those narratives biblical, please, now you're really in the money. And I'm always wary of that. I'm always wary of that reductionist kind of idea I do think sometimes there are good guys and bad guys. I think there is good and evil. I think that's a worthy conversation to have. But, man, you got to be careful about getting sucked into those narratives, because sometimes it's not that simple.
Well, it's also what we were talking about earlier, people that aren't good at anything in their life, and their life gets captured by whatever team they're on, whether they're Democrats or Republicans.
Correct.
And that becomes your whole identity.
So how do you avoid it?
Don't be a retard. Jesus Christ, it's a rigged game. It's a rigged game, and you're going to jump in with your dick in your hand. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's dumb.
Don't be a retard.
Like, people always want me to say I'm a Republican or say I'm a Democrat. Like, I mostly think in a left way, mostly. But I also am a firm believer in discipline and human nature.
Personal responsibility
and willpower. I think willpower is a real thing. I've lived my whole life with it. I know what it is. And so to pretend that it's not, and some people, they don't just need to get their fucking shit together. That's not helpful for them. It's not really kind and compassionate, because it's not being honest with them. By telling people they're fine the way they are, no you're not.
No,
you should be on a goal of constant self-improvement.
Yes.
Doesn't mean you have to be an asshole. And that's the other thing. People that are weak bitches, they always want to conflate being disciplined and having personal responsibility with being an asshole. No, you can be a really nice person and still, you don't have to be a shithead just because you take care of yourself and you're healthy. It's like, this is a scam.
Exactly.
It's a cover that weak bitches throw out there.
I know you're less inflamed than me, but let's calm down.
It's nonsense.
Yeah.
It's like people just get so tribal, and the reason why they do it is because they don't have anything else in their life. They don't have anything that's really important and interesting in their life, so they get completely captured by politics.
You see this now with you got to give Trump some credit for bringing peace to a part of the world where, that's been at worse since Moses had a parting of the ways with the Pharaoh.
Yeah, and it was a lot. They had to give up a lot, right? They had to give up. How many Palestinian prisoners did they have to give up? 250?
And a lot of them are,
those poor Israelis that have been there for 2 years, and what has happened to those people during that time? Can you imagine being an Israeli prisoner and you're in Gaza
starving.
And they're just starving and
digging
they're
your own grave.
shelling the fuck out of that place for 2 years and never thinking you're going to get home to see your family again.
Fuck.
So are they released now? Have they been released?
All 20 living hostages have been released. Some of them are in really bad condition, so they don't want to show them on camera because they've got to be
starving to death.
Yeah, they're right in the hospital.
Well, they're probably never going to be the same again.
No.
That's the thing about starving to death is like your organs have massive damage. Like,
yes.
I knew this guy.
But Hollywood's quiet.
His dad had been captured in Vietnam and tortured and starved, and he was never the same again physically. Even after he came back and put the weight back on, like his body was fucked up.
Yeah.
From the torture, and from the starvation,
and
too.
the stress, man.
Yeah, everything. It's just amazing that he survived.
No sunlight, living in a tunnel for 2 years.
Well, whatever Trump had to do this, what's fascinating is watching people's reaction where they don't want to reluctantly give him credit for it.
Yeah.
Because it's not just this. He's negotiated multiple peace agreements between African countries that have been at war for decades.
Yep.
And this is just one more that he's done on top of that. And it's like people can't get past what they think of him in terms of the bluster or maybe the Epstein files or this. Like, look, there's no perfect person that's going to be president. And to pretend it's Barack Obama is crazy.
Yep.
If you really look at Barack Obama's his legacy and what he actually brought to the United States in terms of punishment of whistleblowers, drone deaths, some fucking crazy number, like plus 80% of the people who killed by drones were innocent.
Incredible.
There's a lot, but that doesn't mean he wasn't a great spokesman and a great representative of America, because he certainly was, because he was brilliant and articulate and just seemed calm and measured, and all those things are great. But the reality is this fucking country is bought and paid for by huge financial interests who would like us to go bomb places because they make bombs. They make weapons, and those weapons cost a fuckload of money, and they come up with all sorts of cute reasons why we should go fuck up Yemen. And
have you had Lindy Lee on your podcast?
No, but I was going to get to this point. But also, you have to have weapons because the rest of the world is fucked. So it's like you have to have this balanced perspective on this stuff. Mm-hmm. Like we don't want war. We should never want war. You should celebrate a president that his core idea is no more wars. Right. People are like, yeah, but he bombed Iran, right? I think he had to. I think it was like one of these things with Israel where the negotiating.
It was an opportunity.
I'll bomb the site. I'll tell them to leave. Jesus Christ. Because, Israel's just bombing the shit out of Gaza. And they're like, they don't care about human shields. And they're like, fuck you. You attacked us. It's over. We're going to wipe you out. So this guy is, what he's done is, if it sticks. So here's the thing. Does it stick? I don't know. I mean, they've come to multiple peace agreements in the past.
Didn't Hamas murder literally 32 members of one family because they were collaborating, quote unquote, with Israel in the street? Did you see that? They shot him in the head.
They shot a few guys. I saw one
It was
video.
more than a few.
I only saw one where there was 3 guys they shot in front of everybody.
Yeah.
And they probably were. That's the thing. The Mossad and the IDF are brilliant. Right? Mm-hmm. The reason why they got all those pagers to those guys and then blew their dicks off is because they're fucking geniuses. Right? The reason why they invented Pegasus, the ability to just listen to your fucking phone, read all your text messages, get all your dick pics, all that stuff, because they're brilliant. And of course, they infiltrate every organization. Yeah. That's how they get all their information. They literally have a soldier that is so dedicated to Israel that they give their life to go pretend to be Hamas and probably even commit terror just so that they can be legit. And then that person will feed all the information to Israel.
That's right.
I mean, you have to have the people who love Israel, you could be one of those people like, I hate Zionists, I hate Zionism, I hate what they've done. I get it. But what they are doing is the most black belt version of tribalism. The most black belt version.
Because
they have to.
Well, because every threat for Israel is existential. One of the things I think the strength of Israel, it's a fascinating idea, because when Trump made a speech at the Knesset, Bibi Netanyahu was booed by a lot of Israelis, and Trump was hailed. And the point of that is that Israel is a democracy where they're constantly arguing with each other. There's constant debate. And your job, if you're prime minister or whatever, is always precarious because there are people who are always going to be critical, and they'll be Israelis. Whereas there isn't this sort of monolithic sort of idea. Like the Knesset has, but the one thing that unifies Israelis, no matter what, they'll debate. You want to talk about the war in Gaza and how it was prosecuted? You can. There's plenty of legitimate saying that you leveled the place. That's fine. But don't make one mistake. You fucking when they're threatened with their existence, you want to threaten the existence of Israel, they'll unify right quick, and they'll fucking blow up pagers. They got 1,000 ways to get to you because they have to.
The point is, they do infiltrate those organizations, and they do that. However,
why were you smiling just now?
Because I just sent Jamie a funny meme.
Oh.
I'll send one. I'll show you one that's more offensive that we can't show on the air, but this one's one of my favorites.
Oh, I saw that. I think you sent that to me.
I did. It's so funny. That keep this Israel be like we took out Hamas.
Holy shit! We shouldn't be laughing, but that's fucking ridiculous,
bro. It's funny.
It is crazy.
It's fun. Listen, you want to live. You want to live your life. You can't decide what's funny.
You got to laugh.
That's funny. I'm not mocking anyone's death, and I think it's a terrible thing that it happened at all. But it's also this is the Charlie Kirk question. When Charlie Kirk was on Patrick Bet David, it's like, why did it take so long for them to respond? Was there a stand down order? Was there so people get all conspiratorial with stuff like that. And then things get real weird because there is this thing that we don't want to believe, but we do know is true, that there are certain groups in this world that are very motivated to have a war. And no one wants to believe that. Everyone wants to believe the only reason to have a military is because we're the just, righteous, great country of the United States of America, and we don't do anything unless we're defending ourselves or defending some other democracy that's being destroyed by communism or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? We like to think that.
Yeah.
That's not totally real. And Smedley Butler figured that out in 1933 when he wrote War is a Racket. And that's still today. The idea that in 2025 that's not the case anymore, that would be very naive.
Right.
And it's not just America.
Right. They profit from instability.
They profit, and then it also, Bill Clinton literally said that and this is Bill Clinton's words, Bibi Netanyahu wants there to be a war so he stays in power.
He said that?
Bill Clinton did recently. He's like, fuck it, I'm old. I'm going to start telling the truth.
Tell something.
By the way, I love getting my dick sucked. Can I tell you that's one of the number one reason why I became president? They all wanted to suck it. Everybody wanted to suck it once I was in that office.
They did.
So I fucked up, and I got one girl with a big mouth. She was a little young. I fucked up. I got crazy.
Left a spot on her dress.
But he was saying this, and I guess he was just saying, look, the Epstein files are coming out. Let me just fucking get real. Let me just get real and say.
If I gun to your head, what do you think your best assessment of what Epstein, who was Epstein, who was he working for?
Well, I don't know, right? So I'm just guessing. Everybody wants to say he was working for the Mossad. He very well could have been. He could have been working for the CIA. He could have been a guy who was on his own, but also working with them, right? Like a guy that they used, but they never fully endorsed.
Like an asset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a guy who could move money around.
Right.
He definitely...
Good at laundering money.
The moving money around stuff was very weird because he had money through no way that anybody could ever explain.
Yeah.
He had an enormous amount of money through no way that nobody could ever explain. Which, if you're state-funded, you're funded by Israel, and Israel's funded by America, and, there's also NGOs and nonprofits, and there's ways to move money around where you can give this guy money.
Yeah.
So he was like... Weinstein, who is an economist, right? Weinstein's a legitimate mathematician.
Eric?
Yeah. So when Eric met him, his first inclination was he was a fraud.
He's a construct.
Yeah, a construct. And did he tell you the whole story about the girl sitting on his lap?
Yep.
So Epstein, while he's meeting with Eric Weinstein for the first time, has a beautiful girl sitting on his lap, and a woman, I shouldn't say girl. He said she was like in her 20s, and she's sitting on his lap, and he's bouncing around, so her tits are juggling around. While
he's asking math questions.
Yeah, talking serious. So he was obviously nerd fishing. He was fishing for nerds, and I think he caught a lot of nerds in that net. There's a lot of those guys
100%.
that wound up going to that island. They probably thought, this is great. We get to party.
Nothing's free.
And they probably felt like they were rock stars because they get to hang out with the intellectual elite on an island with a guy who's just a billionaire philanthropist who's eccentric, who just loves women. He's a professed bachelor. And it all seemed too good to be true.
It's so true.
Because it was.
Yeah.
So I think he was an asset. Whether or not it was for the Mossad strictly or Israel strictly or the United States strictly, whether it was a CIA thing, whatever, I don't know. But I think it was probably a part of a blackmail compromise effort.
Yeah.
Because those guys, there's a fucking dirty secret about these people that are in Congress and they party, okay? They're regular guys.
Yeah.
And regular women, and they're in their 30s or 40s or whatever they are, and every now and then they do coke, and they get drunk, and they
Human beings.
Remember that DC madam that had a whole book of people, and then she wound up committing suicide? She said, "I'm not suicidal," and
See ya.
yeah, because there's probably a lot like that, and
yeah.
those kind of honeypot operations, they let these freaks know, like, hey, you're gonna be safe with me. Charlie will take care of everything. Look, Bill Clinton used to come here. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go to the
And
island.
that's a big endorsement. It's like presidents were here, so it must be a secure area.
Exactly.
I can get
we
down.
are on the island with Bill. This
Yeah.
is fine.
And
We're
all these
fine.
girls show up, and you're like, well, this is Christmas in July.
Bill is really interested in string theory. He'd like to talk to you about string theory. So you're sitting down there having cocktails while Bill Clinton's getting a massage from some girl who's rubbing her tits against the back of his head while she's massaging you.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, that's really interesting. Hey, I'm kind of tired. I'm gonna take a nap.
Another thing about black holes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they all thought that it was this lovely exchange of powerful people and brilliant people. And then they were just getting dirt on all of them. Guys cheating on their wives, guys, whether knowingly or unknowingly, having sex with underage girls.
Everybody
And
wants to
maybe,
be.
Maybe some guys, that was their thing.
Sure.
Because it seemed like with Epstein, that was his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I don't think there's any evidence to either. I think it's all been. I don't think there was collected with that plea deal, and I don't think there's any list that's going to point to. There's no smoking gun. That's
I
all
don't know
been-
about that.
I think it's all been taken care of. I think that it's. I think you could open up every file.
But that's the truth. Why did they have all those files? Why did they parade around with these binders?
Because
and
a
say,
lot of.
do you remember those
Yeah.
photo ops that they said? Like, look, they did like a thing. We have the Epstein files right here,
Right.
and they had binders. Like, what kind of political theater is that? If you don't really have the Epstein
It
files,
was
like,
probably
what is
theater. And what I mean by that is I think like if they are keeping something quiet, it's because it's video of underage girls or it's video of the victims who don't want that to be out there. And the Justice Department cannot make that public. They cannot bring that to Congress. That's all sealed for their privacy, right?
Well, that is the argument. But then they're saying now that there are no files. They're saying there's no video.
I believe that. Don't you?
Boy, I don't know. I think they have video. I think if you've got an island and you want compromise on people, you can't just have hearsay.
I would say I would agree.
I watched him fuck that girl. Let's sue him. No, that's not how it works. You have to have video, and then you have to show it to the guy. Like, Mr. Clinton, have a seat.
Yeah. But I would agree with that, except for I think if there is video, that's somewhere in the archives of an intelligence agency. That's not getting out. And I think when he had that plea deal in 2008, he got tipped off, remember? And when the feds or whoever, when I think it was the Florida Police Department came to kind of collect all the evidence in Palm Beach, those computers weren't there anymore. So all that shit was scrubbed. All that shit was taken out. So... And part of a plea deal is you don't collect evidence. There is no evidence. When you have a plea deal, nobody is collecting any evidence. You understand? Right. So it's not like we're going to collect evidence. No. The part of the plea deal is we are not. This investigation is over. You plead. You do your time in this jail where you can go out and play golf during the day, but you have to come back at night.
He was under home arrest. He would only have to go there like a couple days a week.
Right. He'd have to go to the county jail in Palm Beach
You'd have to check
during
in.
the day. Right. So that's what I'm saying is I think all that shit
I think
was
he did
scrubbed.
like weekends. I think he did like weekends in the jail.
Man,
I'm not kidding. I think they allowed him to work.
Money talks, baby.
It's not just money talks, it's influence. And the guy who was the arresting sheriff was told this guy was
belongs to
intelligent.
intelligence,
Yeah, that's what he was told. So I would assume that guy's telling the truth because
Yeah.
he's a sheriff. He's got no reason to lie, or whoever he was.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of super powerful people that are very, very, very wealthy, and they have the ability to say whether or not things get out. You know?
I think it's interesting how some ideas take root and stay strong. Like, sometimes you'll just find that people will just all of a sudden, everybody will start agreeing on one thing. Like that whole transgender movement. Like that just came out of nowhere in a way. I mean, it had been around, it had been percolating, but it gets co-opted. And then all of a sudden everybody is just
Well, it's
on the
foreign
bandwagon.
governments for sure involved. I
Really?
mean, to what extent?
You mean
we
like
don't know.
bots and stuff, like foreign influence?
China spent a lot of money pushing transgender ideology on
Really?
America. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And this is not, if you're a transgender person hearing this, it's not to deny you. I'm just saying that what China has done was push people further and further towards not just acceptance, but indoctrination. And I think they also want outrage. They want us fighting with each other about stuff. So like they'll push all kinds of crazy stuff. Like one of the things that is really nuts that I used to bring up and people would say, this is ridiculous. Who believes this? It's that pedophilia is not a crime, that it's a sexual orientation. This lady who's running for governor of California, this crazy
that
lady,
Porter or whatever the fuck her name
Katie
is.
Porter, that
Ugh.
screams at her staff,
She's the
get out of my
worst.
fucking shot.
She's the worst.
She looks like the way she talks. Like the way she talks when the cameras are rolling and she doesn't think anybody's going to see it. Like, what a monster.
She's the worst.
But she did one of those interviews where she was talking about pedophilia. And she was talking about
Minor attracted people, you mean MAPS?
Yeah, see, I used to say that they're talking about this in certain universities, and people are like, that is never going to go anywhere. No one's going to buy into that. This lady's running for the governor of California, and she said that. What is her exact quote on minor attracted persons or people that are? But she was talking about criminalizing that.
Well, can I tell you what the philosophy is there? Because I've actually read about it. Here's the idea. You're a pedophile, which means, by the way, really weird thing. You can look this up, Jamie. A lot of pedophiles are left-handed. Did you know that?
Look out, lefties.
The significance there is that it's neurological, right? There's a condition in the brain, right? Okay. So you're attracted to minors. It just happens to you. It's a curse. Holy shit. I see a 7-year-old or whatever the fuck it is. Okay. So the idea is this: you have this affliction. You might be a person who's otherwise pays his taxes, loves his mom, loves his friends.
You
but
just don't act on this thing.
Right. Now watch. Now they have this overwhelming urge, the way somebody would have, say, if they're a gambler or whatever the fuck it is, and they have no one to talk to because if they go to a therapist, the therapist has to tell the police.
Right.
Okay. So now you have no one to talk to. So the idea. Just this is the idea is if we destigmatize pedophilia and call it a minor attracted person and you're allowed to talk to a therapist without having to be incarcerated, the idea would be maybe they can get help and they won't touch kids because a professional can help them, et cetera, et cetera. That's the idea. I understand the, I guess, philosophy behind that, but we get into this very dangerous territory where everything becomes medicalized and everything becomes an excuse. So all of a sudden we find out, and Sapolsky says this, maybe in 20 years we find out serial killers just had something wrong with their brain, and if we had the same lesion on our brain, we'd be the same way. But it doesn't mean you don't put those people away because they are a danger to society.
There's a guy in Austin who stabbed a bunch of people at the university, and I think it was in 2017, and he's getting released. He killed a kid.
Yeah, you can't.
Killed a very promising musician, and he went to a mental institution. So I think they said not guilty for reasons of insanity. So this guy's been on his medication, and he hasn't hallucinated in a couple of years. So now they're releasing him from this mental institution to some sort of a home where they monitor them closely.
No, until you can actually cut out that
What
part of the
did
brain.
Representative Kate Porter say about minor attracted persons? So what did she say? Actual statement context. So what is her statement?
So she said that she didn't say that minor attracted persons or pedophilia is an identity, nor did she say it's not a crime. Her actual comments have been repeatedly misrepresented online.
Right, but I saw the video.
Yeah.
What did she say in the video? She
So
never
she
said
was-
it's not a crime.
No, she was saying
Her,
that.
her comments were solely focused on condemning baseless and dangerous rhetoric against LBG. Well, how is that LGBTQ?
She was saying that people were making equivalents between LGBTQ community and groomers.
You're right, but let's listen to what she actually said. See if you can find the video of her saying it, because then we'll get more understanding of it. Just use the AI and try, just see if you can find a video. Yeah, I think that's it. Here it is. Yeah.
I wanted to start with Ms. Robinson, if I could. Your organization recently released a report analyzing the 500 most viewed, most influential tweets that identified LGBTQ people as so-called groomers. The groomer narrative is an age-old lie to position LGBTQ plus people as a threat to kids, and what it does is deny them access to public spaces. It stokes fear and can even stoke violence. Ms. Robinson, according to its own hateful content policy, does Twitter allow posts calling LGBTQ people groomers?
No, I mean, Twitter, along with Facebook and many others, have community guidelines. It's about holding users accountable to those guidelines and acknowledging that when we use phrases and words like groomers and pedophiles to describe people, individuals in our communities that are mothers, that are fathers, that are teachers, that are doctors, it is dangerous. And it's got one purpose. It is to dehumanize us and make us feel like we are not a part of this American society. And it has real life consequences. So we are calling on social media companies to uphold their community standards. And we're also calling on any American that's seeing this play out to hold ourselves and our community members accountable. We wouldn't accept this in our families. We wouldn't accept this in our schools. There's no reason to accept it online.
That's fair.
So, I mean, I think you're absolutely right. And it's not, this allegation of groomer and pedophile. It is alleging that a person is criminal somehow and engaged in criminal acts merely because of their identity.
Okay, so that's what it is. So it's taken out of context.
Yes.
So
As
it's
usual.
connecting gay people and trans people to pedophilia by calling them groomers.
That's why it's important to watch her, what she
Yes.
actually said, instead of getting your fucking information in snippets from TikTok from other people who have opinions. You're being gamed.
Well, this is why a lot of people hated Charlie Kirk.
That's
the
right.
same thing
That's
from
right.
those
Totally
clips
misunderstood what he said.
Well, yes, but also could have been avoided, by not saying it the way he said it. Like there was certain things that he said, like one of them when he was talking about Ketanji Brown Jackson, who's a Supreme Court justice who graduated from Harvard magna cum laude.
Right.
So saying that you got, what is the exact words he used? Like you didn't have the
He said-
intellectual ability to be taken seriously.
No, he said that DEI will put people
right, but he was
in
saying
positions of power.
I know what he's.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is his saying what he said that was fucked was you took the spot from a white person. I know what he was doing. He
Yeah.
was trying to make a point.
Right.
And he was trying to make a point that affirmative action, we should be living in a meritocracy.
Right.
And that we shouldn't be having lower standards for people. But she didn't, there's no evidence that she had any lower standards.
Right.
The part of the problem with Ketanji Brown Jackson is you might disagree with her.
She's qualified.
Yeah, and I disagree. When they asked her about what is a woman when she was getting confirmed, and she's like, I'm not a biologist, right? But you're a woman and you
Right.
have kids,
Right.
so cut the shit. You're giving into an ideology now. You know what a woman is. A woman is a biological female human being.
Yeah.
Does that mean that there aren't men who feel like they're a biological female human being and they have gender dysphoria? No, it doesn't mean that. That's true too. But when you ask me what a woman is, it's a biological female human being that is responsible for every fucking life that's on Earth. It's a very important distinction.
You think? Yeah.
Every human being on Earth came from a woman.
But this goes back to you and I talking about when you're busy and you're running a business, you're building a brand, you're trying to write jokes, whatever it might be. I don't have time to. It's like the rest of us are trying to. I got kids and I got bills and I got a lot of stuff I have to do. It's really hard to do everything.
So you watch a snippet on TikTok and then you get an opinion of someone.
I also don't have time.
Yeah.
What do you mean by pronouns? Right now I'm busy over here.
Right, but you're also not indoctrinated. You didn't go to school in 2015. You know, you
But
went
I have
to
a
school
theory.
a long time ago.
Here's my theory. I want to hear what you think of this. I was thinking about this. I think part of the transgender thing, at least in colleges, and it's interesting how it took root in places of higher education. I think what happened was there was currency in being a minority. There was currency in being oppressed. There's currency in being somebody who's marginalized and struggling. There's something when you are not that, when you are not in those positions, when you're looking at it, somehow it got a little bit romanticized.
Well, sure.
Okay.
Especially if you're an advantaged white kid, then you can be non-binary. You have
now
no
watch this.
skin in the game.
That's what I was saying.
You get to be a part of that
You
clan.
get to be a minority, and if you're black, brown, indigenous, you had to go through slavery, hundreds of years of brutal colonization. But when you're white, you can be blonde hair, blue-eyed, come from a great family, but you can be a minority on the same level as somebody who's black because you feel like it, because your feeling, you have your feelings, you feel like a minority. Therefore, I don't have to pay a price for anything.
Oh, yeah.
But I get to be on the same level. I can be a bigger minority than Dave Chappelle, who's a black man, because he's attacking me, so now I can attack him because I'm the most vulnerable minority. And I hate to be cynical, but that's a big driver for a lot of people. I'm not saying that transgender people don't exist, but
There's certainly that.
Shit, yeah.
But there's also this cultural narrative that supporting that makes you a good person on the right side of things. Did you see the debate? They had a debate on Vice. Vice does these weird debates, and the way they did this one was very strange. It was about it was women and these feminists and these other women that were talking about trans people and whether or not trans people are women, and it got super performative. And here, I'll send it to you, Jamie.
I want to do this on my podcast.
It got super performative, and it was like trans women are women. Like, that's not an argument. Like what you're saying, this lady has a point about showers and locker rooms and competing in sports, and this is to deny that this is a point. Here, play this.
Trans women be included in feminist conversations? How about in women's spaces?
Yes, they're women.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I saw this.
What's the question?
Pearl,
Trans women or women?
So I want to come at this from the position
Or
of an
perverts.
athlete.
Oh, Jesus.
So I play semi-pro basketball, semi-pro volleyball. So when it comes to like athletic spaces, I don't think that trans women should be allowed into athletic spaces because I don't think it's a fair. I think as female athletes, we work so incredibly hard for the little opportunity there is in women's sports.
Would this be a barrier for you?
There's no barrier. There's less opportunity in some industries.
That's what
one
a
of them.
barrier is.
There's less. It's not. No. It's
That's
based
what
on the
friction
market.
means.
Okay.
Hold
it's
on,
based
guys.
Okay, so again, we work very hard for the little opportunity that we're given, and the problem is we can't compete. We can't. Like I'm 6 foot. If I go up against a 6 foot guy and I play basketball with him, he's gonna body me.
And what happens if I go up against you?
Even if I have years more of training. And so it's like you're taking away the little opportunity that we're given and we all work so hard for. It will be the end of women's sports.
Have you tried confidence?
Eli.
Have you tried
Sorry,
confidence?
confidence can't make me bench what a guy benches.
I don't
Confidence can't
understand
make
why
me
you guys
6'7".
are so hostile. She's sharing her
And confidence
experience
can't make
in
me
a
6'7".
specific
No, she's
field.
sharing
And
her
I'd have to go.
misogyny.
No, she's not. She's a woman who's had an
it's also-
experience.
Okay, kill it.
She's so upset.
Kill it. The woman
I
who's
watched that a long time ago.
dressed like a man with short hair said she's trans
That's not
misogyny.
that's a trans man, by the way.
Oh,
Trans
it's a
woman.
man?
Yeah, that's a man who's now a woman. Yes.
See, that I don't have a problem with. Try that. You could go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
That doesn't bother me at all.
No.
Like if trans men want to invade men's spaces and pee next to us with a funnel, go for it. I do not care at all. You know why? Because you can't rape me.
No.
right? That's
right.
the real problem with trans men is that men are creeps.
Especially in female prisons and
Yes.
stuff. Yes.
Female prisons is a huge one. But it's also just female locker rooms. So like some guy with his dick hanging out is pretending he's a woman. That's real too. There's trans women and then there's perverts who enter into these spaces. You've given them a Willy Wonka golden ticket.
It's like pedophiles who found a safe haven when they could put on the robes of a priest.
And the crazy thing is, like, a lot of these things, like that one in L.A. with that the health club that was they got protested because they kicked a trans woman out of the locker room.
Yeah,
multiple time sex offender.
Yeah.
Multiple time sex
crazy.
offender.
What? That happens sometimes? Yeah.
So someone who's a fucking freak.
Yeah.
Who decides, oh, I'm a woman now, and I'm just going to let my dick shine. I'll just polish it up in front of these ladies.
Right.
So you could just oil up your dick in front of, some people who are just trying to get to yoga class.
I think that conversation's been won.
Hasn't it? Not totally. Look at those ladies.
Trans
women are women.
That's a while ago. That was
trans
5 years ago.
Are women.
Yeah.
Trans women. Was it 5 years ago?
Yeah. I think though. Here's what I think is
What's
important.
What's the question?
Just that.
What are we saying?
Yeah.
It's Katie Porter energy.
Yeah, like what?
That's the same energy.
Yeah. They stopped the conversation, right? You gotta. I'm not gonna talk to you. I've already made up my mind.
Well,
that's a religion, though, right? That's a religious person.
That's a religion. Yeah. You're going along party lines the same way you would, by not eating things that are haram.
I think that if you're going to be like
haram's bad, right? Halal.
Haram is an Arabic term for
stuff
essentially against God in a way.
Right.
Like, it's forbidden. Haram, I think, means forbidden. But
sucking dicks.
Notice how I said haram.
Is sucking dicks haram? How does that work?
Only if you're smiling. I think if you're frowning, you're allowed to. I'm not sure how.
You know what's really crazy? The number one place in the world for the longest time where people got transgender surgeries was Iran. And it wasn't because they were supportive of transgender people. It was because they were punishing gay people.
What?
So the only So the only way to be a gay man in a gay relationship, one of you motherfuckers is going to have to lose a dick.
Now I wonder if that's true. I heard that actually, and I wonder if that is it.
Yeah, it's true.
Wow.
Yeah. They would punish.
That's
gay people.
Horrifying to punish somebody that way.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know if it's still number one. But I think that's also the origin of ladyboys in Thailand. I think a lot of them, I think for a long time it was illegal to be gay in Thailand.
I saw some very
convincing
looking.
Well, that's the thing.
boys.
If you're going to be a trans person, being a small Asian really helps.
Not a Samoan.
Right.
Bad bone structure. Bad bone structure, sir. Yeah,
Viking trans people, like the mountain as trans, it's a real issue.
It's not going to go well. Bryan Shaw is not going to make a pretty woman.
Right. Imagine him being on that volleyball team.
We're not going to find. We have no high heels.
He's a woman.
Sir.
I mean, she's a woman.
Yeah.
Trans women are women. What's the question?
Yeah. Good luck.
What's the question?
Good luck.
What are you saying? You should be studied in a museum. One day they're going to look at that lady and that ideology, like, look at this virus that infected these people's brains.
Crazy.
It's bananas.
But I think like with the Charlie Kirk thing when people were celebrating, right? Horrible. Mm-hmm. But I was saying, man, we better hold ourselves to it. If you want to be somebody who's I call myself a traditionalist or whatever the fuck it is. Maybe I'm a little right to center, depending on the subject. Maybe I'm left in this. But I thought that was horrific. But you got to hold yourself to a high fucking standard, meaning, Trayvon Martin's killer, George Zimmerman, he signs autographs at gun shows. He signs Skittles. I know they had a struggle and stuff, but that was a kid who was doing no crime at all.
Where he was just being harassed by a guy who was
That's
playing
right,
a
man.
cop.
And that guy's gun sold for something like $250,000. So how do you think his family feels? How do you think people on that side? So don't be a fucking hypocrite. It's real easy to be a hypocrite.
Right.
And what Charlie Kirk was guilty of doing nothing other than taking his ideas and pitting them against all comers. That's beautiful.
Right.
Okay?
And if you disagree with those ideas, the real way to handle it is to address them. And
beat it with a better idea.
But the problem is most people don't have an opportunity to communicate with him. And so they see these young kids communicating with him on these college campuses and him trouncing these young kids. And you see things getting, combative or argumentative, and then you see clips. And so the clips, the little tiny ones, like you don't have the intellectual capacity to be taken seriously. And so you had to take your spot from a white person. Like just that clip is a real problem because he didn't have to say it that way, but I know what he was trying to say.
Yeah.
What he should have said is a more qualified person, because in reality, the people that get discriminated the most when it comes to particularly universities are Asians.
Mm-hmm.
So if you wanted to like have a theory of white supremacy, that goes out the window when you look at standards that universities have.
Right.
Because the people that they discriminate against the most are Asians.
Chinese.
Because they do so well. They crush. Because they have old school immigrant mentality, as Joey Diaz likes to say.
You'll never see, by the way, you will never see a Chinese or an Asian, but Chinese, Korean, or Japanese person, you'll never see them complain. You will
Bobby
never
Lee will
see
complain
them.
up a storm.
Bobby's different. Bobby's different.
There's a few,
but Bobby's also hilarious.
A few made it through the net that will complain up a storm.
Bobby's a comic, though. Bobby's like a
Yes.
great comic, so it's different. But
it is, but I'm just joking.
for the most
But
part,
they don't all have discipline is the part.
No.
But they are hard working. Like as a group,
They excel.
They're hard working people.
Tough.
And they rarely complain and they rarely protest. So when they have to sue Harvard, it's probably because of something real. And it turns out it was because of something real. And it's not just Harvard, it's multiple universities have higher standards that they apply to Asian people because the Asian people work harder and because they don't want their school to be overrun by Asians.
Yeah.
But I say, tough shit.
Yeah.
If you can't compete, this is a fucking meritocracy.
It's a meritocracy.
If it's a
they did the same thing to Jews in the 50s in Harvard. All these Jews were getting into Harvard. They're like, we have to have a quota that's going to be overrun with Jews. And they were just
tough shit.
Yeah.
But then there's also the reality that people that live in poor communities have way shittier schools and way less funding and way less hope, and that's bad for everybody.
Right.
I don't think the solution is to let unqualified people in. And this is like with affirmative action, pissed a lot of people off. I think the solution is find the root of the problem and pump a bunch of resources into cleaning up communities and making these schools better and making these communities better and opening community centers and giving people a chance to get the fuck out of whatever, give them some trades or skills or teach them sports or music or something that gives them hope that they can do outside of gangbanging and selling crack. And the thing that I always point to is that could be you. If you were born in that area, that would be you. That's a human being that's trapped in this community. I don't think the solution is take this guy who's got C's and give him a job over a guy who gets straight A's. I think the solution is find out why this guy has C's, where did he come from, why has this place been ignored? If leaders are real leaders, why would you ignore the most disenfranchised people in the world unless you're using them as political pawns? What you should do is try to figure out a way to make it profitable for businesses. The same way Halliburton, like when we blew up Iraq, Halliburton came in and made a shit ton of money rebuilding things. Make it profitable to make these fucking communities safe again. Make it profitable to rebuild.
But you have to start with telling the truth. Okay? And people don't want to. So we can't even get out of the fucking gates. So if I say something like the biggest problem in some communities, by the way, certain white communities, definitely in certain black communities, the biggest problem is fatherlessness. If I say that, there are plenty of people that say I'm already going to push back because you're already being racist. So
but
the problem is have a conversation,
it's a statistic,
right?
Correct. It is a
It's
statistic.
like 70%.
And that's one of many problems,
right? But I never forgot when it comes back to Chinese stuff. I remember if you look what the Chinese did to Manchuria in the 30s. Iris Chang wrote a book about it. I think it was called The Rape of Nanking. She did all the research.
The Japanese did that to the
Japanese.
Chinese.
Yeah. And Iris Chang ended up killing herself. And I think her mother or someone said it was because of just the trauma of doing the research of what they did.
Well, they had contests to see who could kill the most people in a short amount of time with their sword.
It was the most ferocious killing besides, I think, Rwanda in history, but a concentrated number. And I said to my Taekwondo teacher, I was in college, and he was Korean, and I said, why haven't the Chinese asked for some kind of reparation? Why haven't they sort of like asked for formal apologies and stuff? And he said, because in Asian culture, Chinese, Korean culture, Japanese culture, the idea is this. The Chinese said, oh, well, that happened to us because we allowed it to happen. We didn't have our guard up. we weren't strong, and it'll never happen again because you're never doing that to us again. And it was really fucking wild. I was like, damn, man, that's a crazy thing. But that's inherent to that culture, which is radical responsibility. Like, you're responsible. I don't give a fuck. Chinese people have dealt with a lot of discrimination. I believe the word chink comes from them working on the railroad. So the sound of the ching, ching, like that.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's where look that up, Jamie. That's where that but they suffered a shitload of discrimination. And they just set up shop anywhere in the worst neighborhoods, whatever it was. There's always a Chinese restaurant right now, probably in the Congo.
Well, let's find out. Let's use Perplexity, which is one of our sponsors.
Thank you.
And see if that's where the origin of the word chink came from. Even saying that right there, someone could just clip that out. Oh, they're using using slurs.
They've come for me. It doesn't matter.
They're using slurs. But that does make sense because
they're no excuses. They just excel. You'll learn how to play a fucking classical instrument fluently and be great in finance.
How did they get people to work on the railroads specifically from China? Like, what was the origin of that?
I think they came here. I think it was part of the gold rush. And I think a number of them came here on the West Coast, I think, through San Francisco.
And how did they wind up being the predominant workforce of the railroads?
They needed labor. They needed
anything about the railroad.
Chink is an English.
So etymology.
Sorry if I'm wrong about this.
Perplexity, what does it say? Iron chink fish butchering machine.
Which replaced me.
1905 replaced many Chinese laborers in fisheries and reinforced the slur's prominence as a racist term during that period. Oh, wow. So that's crazy. So instead, okay. So the derogatory application may also stem from a resemblance to chink, meaning a narrow opening or a crack, like a chink in the armor. Huh.
It's a fish butchering machine. Well, I guess I was wrong.
Well, but the fish butchering machine was about it's doing the work of the Chinese people. So that's why they called it an iron chink. It's like a slur of the machine. It's not like they were named after the machine. Initially applied to Chinese immigrants, it's used broadly to target Eastern Asian people in general. So what was the origin? When did it start?
Well, some of it.
So 1880.
By the way, I was wrong.
Coinciding
Sorry,
with
everybody.
Increased Chinese immigration to North America during the late 19th century when anti-Chinese sentiment was strong. Yeah, it seems like it's just short for China.
All right, my bad.
No worries.
Sounded
It
good.
makes sense, though.
Sounded good.
Sounds like one of those things
Somebody
someone says
said
in a
that to me.
barbershop.
Like,
and you
I
go,
heard that
really?
from a Chinese person, so I
why
was
he's
like, oh,
cutting
that
your
must be
hair.
right.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Well, he probably believes it, too.
Yeah.
He needs to use AI.
Got to use AI,
But AI
baby.
is not always right. It's only based on what's out there. There's things that are just not factually correct, or there's a problem where whatever government or agency or whatever you're researching has pushed so much propaganda through that the standard of standard of care or standard of education or standard of whatever is this incorrect stuff. Like one of the weird things that Huberman was saying when he was talking to one of his colleagues who is a physician, and he said, what percentage of what is in the medical literature is incorrect? And he said 50%.
Yeah, I heard that. It's crazy.
50% in medical school is incorrect. So you could research something like that, and and it's in the medical literature, so the AI would assume that it's correct, but it is not correct.
Yeah.
Because people are full of shit.
Right.
And they don't like to be corrected, and they don't like to admit when they're wrong,
There's
and they
an
don't like to go
orthodoxy that
back,
takes-
and they also
yeah.
don't like to rewrite history books, and they don't like to rewrite things. They push back real hard against that stuff.
Right.
Like this idea that we're always on this constant search for truth. So yeah, some people are on a constant search to protect their ego and their reputation because they've said one thing in the past,
Or
so now
for
they have to
30 years.
lie. Yes, and they wrote books about it,
right.
and they have to lie and obfuscate because they can't admit that they were wrong.
I remember this guy who said he came up with the whole theory on echinacea, which is good for colds. And then they did this exhaustive study about echinacea, and they were like, listen, we've done 25 studies. It doesn't make a fucking dent, which I can attest to because I used to take a shitload of it and fucking stay sick of shit.
Yeah, people used to say echinacea and golden seal.
That's right, and I took those two. And I used to take the shit out of those.
Problem
Just give
is,
me
it's usually
diarrhea.
hippie chicks.
Oh, fuck, man.
It's their idea.
Yeah, here
you
you
need to
go.
take echinacea. I'm like, okay, what are you taking?
Somebody gave it to me and it was on the tail end of my cold, and I was like, I'm better. And then I was like, I'm taking this. Fucking fuck off.
What is the benefit? Like, what do they say echinacea does? Is it support your immune system?
It's a viral and antiviral. Anyway, the guy who came up with the idea goes, I'm still taking it. That was his response.
Well, let's find out what does the studies show. Ask Perplexity, what do the studies show about echinacea?
I saw that with seed oil. I looked at it up too. Seed oils, apparently, there's no studies that say it's bad for you.
Yeah, but it's bad for you.
Is it?
Yeah, it's industrial lubricant. It's not really even, like, just if you know all the process that's involved in making it. It's also not nearly as healthy as olive oil, and you can get olive oil. Just use olive oil. Stop fucking around.
I do.
Or use beef tallow.
But I looked it up and I was like, yeah.
It's not human food, man. It's processed bullshit.
Right.
Like that. Just that alone.
Right.
Like olive oil is fucking super healthy for you, really good for you, and you can use that. So why are you using that
it's
bullshit?
cheaper. Yeah,
But
olive oil's expensive.
It's disgusting. Like the way they make it. Have you ever seen the way they make seed oils? What does it say? Immunity and cold prevention. Many studies suggest echinacea may help support immune function and possibly reduce the number and severity of upper respiratory infections. Some trials found a small reduction in cold risk or illness duration, while high-quality reviews show little to no statistically significant benefit over placebo. That's all we need to know. We're good. We're good.
That's it.
What really
but again, that's part of science, right? Like you look at that, you do a study, you see what works,
right?
And if it doesn't, it doesn't. You know?
Right.
But a lot of this stuff is complicated.
Sure.
You know how you do a study, what you leave out.
Also, who's funding the study?
Who's funding the study is huge.
Whether or not Fauci approves
how big was the study? Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah. Well,
and then a lot of the stuff is also like you have to have expertise in that field to even understand the research.
Also, studies are much like corrupt boxing judges. It's like, what's the purpose of this? Like, what are you trying to do? You're trying to make a lot of money. If you're trying to make a lot of money, you can make a study where you can take a dosage that's preposterous and give it to a group of people, and this fucks them up. And then you have a great base of saying, this is a dangerous drug.
Right. Well, they did that thing.
I was watching this guy who's on Patrick Bet-David's show. There's something that I did not know. Do you know that heroin was created, it was termed as a solution to morphine addiction?
Wow. But it is morphine.
But it's just slightly different. It's just like methadone. Methadone's fucking terrible for you.
Yeah.
And that's what they use to get people off of heroin.
I remember. I knew people who would go to the methadone clinic.
We'd call them the Methadonians. When I was playing pool at Executive Billiards in White Plains, New York, it was right down the street from a methadone clinic. Yeah. And the Methadonians would get their method. Okay. Heroin was originally created as a supposedly non-addictive substitute for morphine, intended to treat morphine addiction and serve as a cough suppressant.
Wow.
Now, here's what's really crazy. Do you know that when they were inventing this stuff, one of the things that they also came up with was acetaminophen. And acetaminophen, they didn't want people to take because in studies they showed that it fucks rats up.
In their liver.
Like this is like all these crazy liberals who are not they're taking Tylenol because RFK Jr. said don't take it. So like fuck you, I'm taking Tylenol and I'm pregnant. Maybe it's okay to take Tylenol if you're pregnant. I don't know. But what I do know is it's the number one source. Acetaminophen is the number one source of acute liver failure in America. 500 people die in America every year from liver failure because of taking acetaminophen. So don't take it.
Or it's a dose thing, right? So I know
it's most certainly a dose
thing. If a woman's
thing.
Pregnant and her temperature goes way up, it can kill
be bad
the baby.
For the baby, right?
So there's a dosage you take that apparently is okay, right? So you can take a certain amount. Yeah.
I don't know how you would find that out without
I don't know anything
having
about
another woman with the exact same body take Tylenol and not have a problem, and one that takes it nothing and does.
That's the thing I asked you about. Remember the meat thing? Where I talked to this guy who said that red
Hold on
meat,
a second. What does this say, Jamie? Acetaminophen has no direct chemical or historical connection with the invention or development of heroin. Yeah. No, that's not what we're saying. No, they developed, is Bayer. They developed acetaminophen as well. It wasn't that it had a connection to heroin. It was just another thing that they developed that they didn't want to release because they found out that it had problems. But this is the guy on Patrick Bet-David. He wasn't saying that it was developed as a substitute for heroin. It's nothing like heroin.
Did you see what Patrick Bet-David said about Porter?
About who?
About Katie Porter or whatever her name is?
No, I didn't.
It was so funny. He goes, I just want to shout out to Katie Porter. She's fantastic. He's just like, just keep going, man. You just keep talking that way. And he was just, but the way he was doing it, it sounded like he was supporting her, but he was just like, just keep on going. You're telegenic. This is fantastic. You're great. He's fucking so fun. I love that guy.
He's a great guy.
I love that dude, man.
He's a great guy.
I get along with him.
That is an unfortunate situation. And now she's right now drowning in anxiety. The wave of the people that are attacking her, and even unjustly because of the clip that we pulled up,
right,
where she was talking about people connecting groomers to just regular LGBT people or LGBT people. Just the wave of hate that's coming her way, especially when she yelled at her staff, "Get out of my fucking shot!" Like we all know that kind of person.
Yeah,
we all know.
We
that.
know who you are. That's who you really are.
That's who you are.
That's the real you.
We've seen people like that.
Yeah.
We know those kind of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I actually, as I get older, I think how you think and what you actually hold in your mind and your heart, even if you try to keep it a secret,
it comes out.
It will always come out.
That's why podcasts are so good.
Fuck yeah, man. It's like, listen, your brain is a garden. You got to de-weed it. You got to keep your brain. You got to keep your mind on the good things. People are going to fuck you over. You got to forgive them, or you'll turn your own back on your future. All those little challenges.
Yeah.
You're going to have hard shit that goes on. You're going to come home. Your wife is going to need you. You got kids. You can't bring that shit home. That is the discipline. That's being a warrior. Not all this fucking other stuff. Like, I'm fucking practicing my double and single. Like, I have no idea why I love my son's taking jiu-jitsu, so I like to teach him. But at the end of the day, the challenges are keeping your mind and your heart pure. And I never used to speak this way, but as I get older, that's kind of really what I believe. Because it's going to you're not getting away with it.
Well, that's why you should stay off social media, because you'll have enemies all day long.
Ugh.
And there's a lot of people that are our age that are complete addicts, that are just, especially the left people, for whatever reason. But I shouldn't say that. I know a lot of people on the right are addicted to it too.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just addicted to these arguments that people have constantly, every day, calling people assholes and losers, and you're just carrying around all that bullshit with you all day.
That's exhausting.
Which is why I don't do it. I mean, I could go in on fucking every person that ever wronged me or that and said bad things about me. Like, come on.
I always do that. I always say, listen, I have friends that are like, I'm getting hate. I'm like, listen, dude. If you're getting hate, you're doing something right.
Or you're a cunt, and maybe you should get your shit together. Maybe the people are right.
Or you're a cunt.
You never know. Like, there's a certain amount of criticism that you should respect. You should look at it and go, but a lot of it is straw man criticism. And the reason why people are doing it is they're not really criticizing you or what you stand for. They're making up a thing to pretend that you stand for that thing, and then they're attacking that.
I get checked though sometimes. I no longer, like, I'll read a book and I'll become an expert. Like, I'll read half a book on nutrition.
Oh, you'll read a fucking headline.
Dude, I'll read a headline, bro. And you better sit down at my feet, because I got some shit to teach you. And
Weinstein said something to Terrence Howard once that I'll never forget. Really important thing. He said, stop teaching. Stop trying to teach people. You're not an expert.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And, in his case, it was very personal because Terrence was talking about mathematics and physics. It was really important for him because, like, we know Eric very well.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people who think Eric's an idiot, which is hilarious.
That's hilarious.
It's funny.
Good luck with that.
And smart people. There's smart people that decided he's an idiot and a fraud. And I've seen videos where smart people are tearing him apart. And I'm like, that's interesting. Okay, that's so uncharitable and not necessary. And even if you have criticisms about the way he communicates, you got to understand that the way he communicates to him is normal.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's really fucking smart.
He's an inherently decent, beautiful person.
He's a great guy.
I love that
He's
guy.
a great guy. He's a genuinely great guy. And he's, not the kind of guy that goes out of his way to try to ruin other people.
No.
He's not doing that at all.
No.
And so I get that there's a currency in criticizing people. Like, you can get clickbait headlines and clickbait videos, but that all comes at a cost too, because I'm never going to really respect you, because I'm going to think that what you're doing when you're doing that kind of stuff is, and I get it, it's because if it's a business, you're doing it on YouTube, it's the best way to get clicks, but this just
so gross,
going out of the way to attack people, it's not smart.
No.
Because you're going to be that guy forever. And then one day you're like 50 or 60 and you've built your whole brand on being a cunt. And
but also
just
that
calling
same
people
critic,
out.
that same critic comes back to you. It turns around and comes back at you.
Always.
When you try to do something, because being good at anything is very hard. Like I'm fucking dropping my special, and I gotta write I've been writing all new shit. That's fucking hard. Not repeating yourself, trying to like shake up your paradigm. It's really hard. And you go through some days where you're like, I'm never gonna write a joke again.
Right, and if somebody sees you on one of those days where you're eating dick, they're like, oh my God, he's terrible.
Right.
Like, okay. Well, I've seen people say that about Louis. Like a friend of mine saw Louis in the cellar. He's like, oh, he sucked. I go, no, he didn't suck, dude. He's got new bits that are brand new, and if you see an hour from or a year from now, that hour will be a polished masterpiece.
Oh, dude.
But it doesn't come out of the box perfect, and the only way to ever develop it is you have to have the courage to trot these ideas out and try to find where the funny is in them. And sometimes the funny isn't there, and you think it is, and you go looking around and you go, all right, folks. And
There's no other way. There's no other way. You got
your
to keep trying.
skills as a comedian to navigate those waters, but you know.
I did an interview on a radio thing, and this fucking guy who he had just started doing stand-up was criticizing the quote unquote that right-wing hack comedian named Jim Brewer, and I turned that interview. I was like, are you calling Jim fucking Brewer a hack? Do you know how funny that motherfucker is? You know
He's
how hard.
so funny.
Do you know how hard it is to do what that dude does? Like, shut the fuck up. You've never done. You have 10 minutes of material. Shut up. That guy kills me. You ever see his routine about the fucking when his cat got the shit kicked out of him by a raccoon? Oh, dude. Who's your mother now? He just got this shit.
He's so physical.
He's so
such
funny.
Physically funny.
Oh, my God.
And he's been really funny since I met him.
Yeah, he's never not
I met
been
him
funny.
in like 91 or 92.
Funny then.
He was great.
Goat boy.
He was phenomenal. And he's a great guy, too. He's a great guy.
Great guy.
And it's just like people are always trying to build themselves up by taking other people down. And it's historic. It's been going on forever. It's always the case. And it's normal. Like when you're young and you're coming up and you see people that are doing better than you, like, fuck that guy. It's normal. But it's not beneficial. It's not good for you.
Well, you can use it to inspire you.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
I've done what they do. I've hated on people. I definitely did when I was younger. It's just not smart. It's not a good strategy for life.
Doesn't help you.
It's, your identity gets too wrapped up in conflict, and it's just like super unhealthy.
Well, we know people our age who are still doing that shit.
Of course.
Comics.
Mark Maron, don't say it.
I mean, I don't get it. I'm like, I don't know.
I get it. He's sad. He's sad. He wants other people to hurt. That's what it is.
It's just not charitable. It's
also he's pathologically jealous. Like he's like literally mentally ill. Like, do you understand? Mark, when he first started, when he was just first coming up, was friends with Mitch Hedberg, and then Mitch Hedberg hit, and he couldn't be friends with him anymore.
Really?
Yep. Stop being his friend. Same thing with Louis C.K. Louis C.K. and him were tight. Louis blew up. Mark didn't. He had to fucking hate him, and he turned on him. Talked shit about him openly. And then he became successful. And the years where Mark was successful were the best years of Mark. Because Mark was fun. Mm-hmm. Like, I've had ups and downs with Mark. I've gone through this with him like 3 or 4 different times where he gets upset at me, and then we talk, and then, are we good? We're good. Like, he likes to do that. He likes to talk shit about you, and then you confront him, and he says, you're right. And with me, my relationship with him was really complicated because when I was an open micer, I was 21 years old, and I was just starting out. Mark gave me a compliment once that really helped me. He came up to me and he goes, hey, man, you're really funny. He just keep doing what you're doing. Don't listen to anybody else. Just keep doing what you're doing. I was like, wow, thank you.
That's his best side. That's the good side.
It is not all bad.
No.
And he was a young guy back then, right? So he was just being cool. And then over time, obviously I became more famous than him and more successful than him. And he does not like that. He fucking hates that. And the only time we were cool was when Mark was number 1. So Mark, the podcast took off, and you got to realize it took off when he was deep into his 40s, right? And it was the number 1 podcast in the country. And he was on Rolling Stone magazine, and, he had his own show on IFC, The Maron Show, and he was fucking great. He was cool to hang with. He was fun because he didn't have to compare himself to anybody anymore because he was a success. Like, he could look at his own success. He was doing a television show. He had his podcast. Everything was great. And we were cool. Like, we were friends. Like, I'd see him. I'd give him a hug. I'd say, what's going on? We would talk. We're friendly at the store. We never hung out off off site. But we were friendly. Like, we had pushed all the beef aside, and he even did my podcast. We had a great time. And then I started getting more successful. And then my podcast passed his. Then my podcast became number one. And then the Spotify deal. And that's when he started talking shit about me. So he started talking shit about me long before all this Trump stuff. This Trump stuff is just the most recent iteration of this bizarre thing that he does with people. And the first thing was he had decided that I was an asshole, like, just because the podcast took off. But it was not a big deal. It was like I'd heard people say that he was saying things. But then after the Spotify deal was a real problem. And that's when he started coming after me. And it was about vaccines. Like, so he was talking about me on stage about vaccines. It's like, by the way, everything I said was correct. The people that I had on my podcast were like Robert Malone, who got criticized. He has 9 patents in the creation of mRNA technology.
He's a vaccinologist. He's an immunologist.
Yeah, he took the vaccine himself and had a horrible adverse event, which is when he started becoming critical of it.
Right.
And then he started doing the science and looking into the papers and the research, and he was trying to sound the alarm. He was right. All these people, Dr. Pierre Corey, he was right. Peter McCullough is the most published doctor in human history in his particular field of expertise, which is immunology. It's kidney disease. I don't exactly.
But he's a scientist,
very well published and accredited scientist. So these are the people that I had on that were talking about this stuff. It had nothing to do with that Marin was upset at. It had to do with jealousy.
I think, though, it's another thing. I think some people have a very traumatic experience when they're younger. It could be high school. And you represent an avatar of that experience. So we just spent, the first fucking third of this podcast was about fighting, working out, and all that stuff. There's a physicality there. You are a physical guy. You're physically imposing. You can choke somebody unconscious, punch them in the face, blah, blah, blah. That meathead persona, that kind of like forward tilt, that yang energy, that very hyper male energy. Some people have a very bad experience with that kind of energy when they're young. They might be.
I understand,
right?
But you have to judge people on an individual. You can't straw man people and pretend that they're mean.
Of course you do.
He likes to pretend that I'm like a mean jock.
But that's what I'm saying, is that you've got to, like, as an adult, after a while, you have to come to terms with whatever emotional reaction you have to whatever this avatar is that you've put all this stuff on, which we all do. I think you've got to take after a while, you got to go, hey, this is where I got to let go of all that stuff, and I got to take the person at face value.
Yeah, but this is you're talking about introspection, and he doesn't have that. That's not him. He does when confronted, and he'll apologize. Like, that's his whole thing. Are we good? We good? And then you hug it out with people. He also lies. Like, one of the things he lied about, he did a podcast with Howie Mandel, and Howie Mandel asked him if he had problems with comedians. Like, no, I don't have any problems with any comedians. I've never had any problems with comedians. Like, what are you talking about? He's had a problem with every single comedian that's more successful than him. Bill Burr, Louis C.K., Dave Chappelle, me, Tony Hinchcliffe, everybody that passes him, all of a sudden he talks about them on stage. And the Theo thing really drove me nuts, because that sent Theo into a real spiral.
Did it?
Yeah. Yeah, well, Theo went into a spiral, and that was a big part of him getting attacked, was Marin talking about him on his special, saying that he'd have Hitler on his podcast. Well, why is he saying that? Does he think that's true? Does he think that Theo has anybody on his fucking show, including Bernie Sanders?
He's learning. He wants to learn.
He'll talk to people, and he will talk to anybody on his podcast. That's not what the thing is. The thing is that Marin's podcast, which was number one, isn't even in the top 100 anymore. I don't even think it's in the top 200. It went away. And it went away not because he did anything. He didn't get arrested. There was no scandal. People just stopped being interested in it. And I think that hurts the most. And
why did they stop being interested?
It's not good. Here's a part of it. Like, the conversations that he has are fine. But the beginning of the podcast is these, like, self-indulgent rants about life and him doing things. And there's a thread dedicated on, like, Reddit where people fast forward to the time, like, they give you the time stamp of when he's done ranting, so you could just get to the interview. Because nobody wants to hear it. It's an inside, joke. But it just, that's the reality is, it's like Theo passed him, like rocketed past him, and now he has like the number 2 or number 3 podcast in the world.
Sometimes there's a thing that people do when you're older, where you say that person passed me, and then you criticize the culture that got them past it. Right?
Well, the thing is that Maron never developed an audience for his comedy, and he always felt like he deserved it, and that's what drove him the most nuts. He always felt like he deserved it, but it's like, you deserve what you get. You know what he has a record for? One of those ticket things, whether it's Ticketmaster or whatever one, number 1 for selling single seats.
That's interesting.
That's not good.
Oh, that's really interesting. So
people with no friends.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Sad people. Sad people that identify with the way he behaves in interaction.
I always
with
look
life.
at it this way. Like we were doing this thing, and Ryan Reynolds, people were talking about how he gets hate or he gets criticized. And I was like, look, man, I don't know about that. I just know that I tried really, really hard to be Ryan Reynolds. I did. I tried my hardest. I was in acting class. I went on every fucking audition. I did okay. I was on a couple sitcoms and some movies and stuff. But for whatever reason, I'm not Ryan Reynolds. You know why? I'm just probably in some ways, hate to say it, I think I'm really good at comedy, but maybe I'm just not as good, or maybe just for whatever reason I didn't do it. Maybe he was smarter in this other area, but either way, he's there.
Well, the reality is, man, there can only be like a couple of Ryan
That's fine,
Reynolds,
but I'm not going to hate
there's
on the guy because of it.
Thousands and thousands and thousands of people that are trying to.
I tried hard, man.
But see, that's the difference between that and comedy. See, comedy is much more of a meritocracy.
Very much.
If you're funny, you can get an audience.
Yeah.
And there's Jim Brewer's audience, and then there's Nate Bargatze's audience, and there's Kevin Hart's audience, and you can get an audience. Like, you just have to put your work out there, and people resonate with your work. And you might not like these guys. You might say this guy sucks or that guy sucks, and I like this guy. No, it's fine. You're allowed to have personal taste, just like there's personal taste in music that I don't like. But the proof is in the pudding. People come to see you? Do you put asses in seats? Do they enjoy the time? Or is it an angry bomb where you're on stage ranting about other comedians? Well, that's Maron. And he does that all the time. Tim Dillon was just saying he was doing that in L.A. the other day. Just ranting about other comedians that are at the Riyadh Comedy Festival. Which is all, like legitimate area of criticism, if you can make it funny. Like, you're working for the Saudi government, and they've definitely done some stuff that's fucking horrible. But the root of it all is not real. It's not that he cares so much that he wants everyone to do the right thing. That's not it. He's upset that all these people are getting attention. He's upset that it's very childish. But he'll make it look like, he's the righteous side, the left, the progressives. He's the voice now, and he's going to fucking, we got work to do. We got to get these fascists out. No, it's about him getting more attention. That's what it ultimately is all about. And that's unfortunate. And I'm not mad at him. And if I saw him and I talked to him, we were cool, I'd give him a hug.
You're just
but
being
he
honest.
Wants to
You're
pretend.
being just honest.
Right, but he wants to pretend that everybody else is bad and mean. And this is like the reason why they're successful, or that they're hacks.
Or that the culture's corrupt. And
Well, he
that's
also
why
says some dumb shit like, you can stop making fun of trans people. They can't get health care. That's one of the things he said. Like, what are you talking about? They can't get health care. Health care is care that makes you healthy. The law that got passed was stopping chemical castration drugs and surgery for underage children that are confused.
Yeah. And you know how many kids are? Yeah, don't
By
get me
the way,
started on
these things that they call hormone
cross-sex
blockers,
hormones? Are you kidding? Puberty blockers?
But hold on, hormone blockers. That's not what they originally were used for. We know that like medicine can be used off-label, right? And the idea of that initially was there was only 100 different kinds of medicine, and you could figure out what would work, and you could prescribe it for different things and off-label uses. The stuff that they're using, that they're calling puberty blockers, is the same drugs that they used to give to sex offenders for chemical castration. It's the same drugs.
It's fucking unbelievable.
It's chemical castration
unbelievable.
drugs, and you're giving it to children.
Yeah.
And then there's this narrative that it can be reversible. No, it's not.
No.
You go through, you're going to have a micro penis for the rest of your life. You're going to have fucked up vocal cords. Your whole body
Your
is going
bone
to
density
be
sucks.
There's a lot of
up.
like weird
It's
fucking horrific
evil.
side effects.
It's so fucking evil to me.
Right. So his straw man is transgender people can't. You should stop talking about it, man. They can't get medical care. They can't get health care. You happy? Like that has never been the case.
Well, he's
it's
saying
not
that's what
healthcare.
you're saying. That the problem
He's
is
just trying to get
reducing
you
it.
to limit the amount of things that you're talking about that people want to hear.
Right.
That's really what he's doing.
Yeah.
It's like a really selfish, self-oriented fucking thing. It's not righteous. That's what's the crazy thing about it. And people are going to find that out, man. They're going to dig into you. They're going to listen to the things you say and the way you behave and the things you've talked about. Saying, like that the whole reason why everybody voted for Trump is because they wanted to say the word retard. That's a straw man. Like, it was a really funny bit. I get it. It's okay. It's not that good a bit. But it's a straw man. That's not true. What everybody wanted was they realized there was a crazy thing happening where the border was wide open.
Right.
And 20 million people got in 4 years that weren't supposed to be here.
Right.
But does that mean that you support everything that they're doing now? Or are they kicking people out? No.
Right.
This storming into the fucking Home Depot and arresting people? No, that's not cool either.
No.
The military in the street, I think, is a dangerous precedent. But also, why are you allowing people to just riot on the streets and burn down buildings? Like,
why do you have to lock up toothpaste in Washington, D.C.? Toothpaste. You got to lock it up.
San Francisco as
Is that
well.
good?
No, look, there's a balance to be had here, and there's a conversation to be had, but it's not in straw man arguments where you're saying that the only reason why people want is because they wanted to say this is comedians are just voting for fascism.
No, this is why with my podcast, like I got to a point where I was interviewing people, right? It was great. But the problem is after a while for me, like there are too many people like you who do it really well. I would love, and I don't know if I think I talked to you about this, just to get people on two different sides to have a discussion. Just to find out, just to kind of get to so in other words, can we just try to approach this as solving a problem? We
But
don't
it have to be the right two people.
It's hard to get them though. But
it
that's what
is
I want
hard to
do.
get them, but it also has to be two people that are actually just trying to state their points. There's a really good example of that recently. Coleman Hughes
was great.
He's great. He had Dave Smith on his podcast.
Yeah, saw it.
Very good conversation. Super balanced, intelligent, calm level, especially from Coleman. Coleman's so good
He's
at
a
that.
killer. Wow.
He's so good. And it was, one of the rare times where I think Dave was kind of stumped in certain situations.
And that's okay.
And it's great.
Oh, Dave probably learned a
great.
lot. That's stay
It's
open.
great.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a very interesting point about the Wesley Clark thing. Do you see that?
I did.
Yeah,
I
but
did.
he never saw the memo. Like, he was told what was in the memo. He's like, you understand that if you're writing a history book, that wouldn't even be. You couldn't even put that in the book, which is accurate.
It's absolutely accurate.
It's accurate. It doesn't mean that they didn't actually do that, though, and it seems like that is exactly what happened, which is kind of convenient.
Well, he addressed that too, but I know what you're saying. It's like again,
but it's also like a brilliant debate.
Yes,
and never.
And
devolved.
you learned things
Right.
from that.
You're not going to see Mark Maron in one of those.
And that's the bummer. It's like if you have these ideas you're standing on and you're vocal with them, right? Then you should be willing to put them on the table and see how they war against another idea.
And you also
that's
should
the whole
entertain
point.
the other person's perspective. The
Of
problem
course.
is, Dave has been saying it one way for the longest time. And when Coleman said that, I think the correct response is, that is true.
Yeah.
You got a really good point.
You won. You're right.
However, no, you didn't really win. Because they did do exactly what was in that memo. I mean, they did overthrow every single country except for Iran.
No, because he said, in fact, we did it with a number of other regimes, but there were, I think, 3 or 4 countries in that memo that we haven't done that with.
Right, but
So,
they've been going after those specifically, and a lot of them did get toppled.
This was Rumsfeld.
But it's also, and it is interesting that is a strategy that the United States employs, and that we do topple regimes, and that we have in the past. We have been involved in that, and to deny that, I think, is kind of crazy.
Right.
And we also really do a good job of taking advantage of opportunities. And when 9/11 happened, that's when they passed through the Patriot Act. Like that's when they started taking.
That was the birth of the surveillance state, sir.
Exactly.
They know everything about you. I talk about this in specialists. Like they know a woman's pregnant based on her migratory shopping pattern, sir.
Interesting.
Okay, so they can based on your migratory shopping pattern, they can pick up that you are with child, and you don't before she knows it. Before she knows it.
That's crazy.
Okay, that's what's crazy. They have cameras with full gait recognition. So the way
gait changes when you're pregnant.
How you walk is in the cloud. That is a signature for you. Okay, forget your biometrics. Cover your face all you want. They have cameras that can pick up how you walk. The mathematics of how you walk is just like your fingerprint. They also have a laser that can shoot into your body and pick up your heart signature, sir. So good luck hiding from the state. It's
nuts.
here and that's it. Your privacy. And
that was one of the things that they were saying when it came to the abortion debate that I thought was very interesting that I hadn't considered is that they were talking about prosecuting women that left a state where abortion was illegal and went to a state where it was legal and then returned. Yeah. And that they were going to do this based on apps. So women have apps where they track their ovulation and that they could get the data from these apps.
I think it's outrageous.
It's outrageous.
Yeah.
And it's also, that's where it gets really creepy because it's a lot of Christian fundamentalists.
Well, it actually hinges
becomes a religion.
It actually hinges on murder. Right. So
Right.
if somebody came across state lines and murdered somebody, you could do that. That's absolutely legitimate. When you define abortion as murder, okay, then that is there are strong legal grounds to establish that precedent.
Sure,
So
but you're
now here we
also
are.
not supposed to be prosecuting, say if you're in Texas, you're not supposed to be prosecuting someone for the actions that they did in Oklahoma.
Unless it's murder. That's a federal crime.
Okay.
Right? You
So
understand?
if they approach it that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you certainly were a republic, but and so there are statutory laws, but they do not supersede in many cases federal law if it's something like murder. That's a capital crime.
The problem is you're giving men the ability to track women's behavior in a way that I think
it's hugely problematic.
Very fucking creepy.
Yeah.
Also, when there's a significant portion of this country that believes women should have access to abortions, and for you to say no, and it's their body, that gets slippery.
This is where we get into.
It gets real slippery, and that gets into more of a libertarian area. Where I think that's probably where I land a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm. Now you're sounding like a leftist / libertarian. It's so weird, right?
I'm
it's
very
hard to label
left
anybody.
when it comes to live and let live and accepting people for whatever it is, whether they're gay or whether they're from another country. Like, I'm open to everybody. I want you to just be cool. Be nice and be cool and try to do a good thing with your life and enjoy yourself and not harm others.
When you're running, when you have policy, the problem is we get into the weeds. Technology creates problems that are major because typically, I think with Roe v. Wade, the abortion was legal until the fetus was viable on its own. Okay, so once the fetus was, if it could be, the cutoff thing was without the mother. If it needs the mother, then it's still.
Right,
you can still
a part of the mother.
Now, if the baby's 8 months, no. But what happens when technology can keep a 6-week fetus alive and bring it to term? Now you're dealing with. Now you can't make the argument.
That's not the case right now.
But it will be.
Technology
is good. So now the problem becomes. Now, what do you do? Now we have to redefine. So the people who believe in abortion or a woman's right to choose have to redefine what it is. And the only way to get around that is to say that a woman can make that choice until the baby's born. Yeah. And that's where you get politicians say, you believe that babies should be killed up until the woman's crowning. And then we get into this whole thing and then,
Yeah.
And
it also is a uniquely human issue in that it does get blurry. Like, as much as I say I'm 100%, I think a woman, it's her choice, especially at early stages. If someone is pregnant for 4 weeks, that's your choice. I don't think anybody should be stepping in. However, everybody with any kind of a heart or everybody loves babies. When you get to like 8 months or 7 months. You're like, whoa, that is a full-on baby inside of you, which is and then when you see what they do when they do have late-term abortions, you could see the body parts. Jesus. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen it. Unfortunately,
I can't watch that shit.
I've watched some of those videos, and then you've also seen people who were working for Planned Parenthood who are callously talking about sorting through these parts.
I guess you have to be that way, don't you?
I
mean, there's no other way to do it.
I guess, but there's some of those Project Veritas type videos where, people are behind the scenes.
Darkness, man.
It's so dark. But they don't think there's anything wrong because they think that abortion should be legal and abortion is a leftist position and a woman should have a right to choose. So in their mind, this is what's happening, and like, here's a leg and here's a heart and here's a head.
This is where ideology, you have to be super inflexible, right? You got to be like, well, this is what I believe no matter what.
Yeah,
and I can't live that way, man. Fuck that.
You can't be, if you're not grossed out by a little baby hand that just got sucked out of a woman's vagina with a vacuum cleaner, that's kind of crazy.
Bob Geldof said something that was so interesting. Remember Bob Geldof?
Sure.
Yeah.
We are the world.
And he was talking about Gaza, right? And you can get into a debate about Gaza. I leave that shit alone because I'm not going to get into that, because you can talk about Israel turning it into the surface of the moon. There's plenty of criticism in that direction. You can talk about what they did on October 7th and all that stuff. But he said something wild. He said, look, there are a lot of kids who are starving or at least malnourished or really hungry, whatever it might be. And he said something, he asked a question I thought was great. We could get into the debate. He said, but hey, who are we as human beings, as people? Who are we? Like, there's got to be something we can do. There's got to be something we can do, whether it's Israel, whether it's Palestinians, whatever, to at least get that kid fed, at least to stop that kind of stuff. And that's it. That, I think sometimes there's a question to ask. You got to throw all your ideology out the window. You got to throw all your politics out the window and go, hold on. This is called the stop everything button. I'm going to push it right now. I'm just going to stop everything. And we got to stop and make sure those kids are fed. Fuck
Unless
off.
Your ideology has gotten so dark that you think of those kids as an other. You don't think of those kids as kids. Those kids are orcs.
Yeah, that's what the Vedanta always says, that the seeing nothing, no other is the way. Ultimately realizing that you and that person, back to what you said, you'd be that person too under those circumstances.
But then there's the cold, hard reality of environment and culture. Right? If you grow up in this radical jihadist
there are good ideas
culture,
and bad ideas. Let's not get it twisted. It doesn't mean you're an intellectual and say everything is everything, okay? We're not being relativist here.
What I'm saying is if you live in a part of the world that's fucked, you're going to be fucked.
That's right.
You're going to be fucked.
Which is then we have to go, hold on. There is a better way, and there's a worse way. When you lose that side of that, like there is a better way. There's good, there's evil, there's better, there's worse. And that takes some time to understand the meaningful difference.
Have you ever talked to Evan Hafer about his time in Afghanistan?
Yes.
Some of the things that he told me, the things that he saw, and the things that he personally witnessed.
Yes.
He's like, you really get this feeling like you just can't.
Yeah,
you can't deal with this.
No.
Like, and this is my thought on that. It's like, I wonder if that's what life was like all over the world thousands and thousands of years ago. I wonder if kind, nice people were like an aberration. And if most of the war, like what we're seeing in places like Afghanistan, these warlord-driven mountain communities of people that are like, I wonder if that's like how most of human history was.
I believe it was.
I believe it was.
You had Daryl Cooper said the greatest thing about the Middle East conflict. He said it's a part of the world where people have to give up who they could be for who they have to be. And that's a beautiful way to put it, because that is what we are so, man, as Americans, especially a certain kind of American, we're so lucky because I get to try to be who I want to be. Mm-hmm. I don't have to settle for who I have to be. Yeah. I don't have to watch my kids go hungry and do some bad shit, because if my kids couldn't get water, I'm going to be slitting some throats. But I never had to face that stuff. I never had to embrace the angels of my darker nature just to survive.
Yeah,
and it's a luxury, man.
And you also never had to those people never get to stray from that path, because they're in that path from the time they're a child. And if they make it to be 30 and they're living like that, it's a miracle.
If you lose an election in a lot of countries, you die.
Hey, you die.
You don't live to see another day.
How about Mexico? We were talking about the amount of assassinations in Mexico.
Dude.
I had Ed Calderon on, and he explained
I listened to it.
He was like, they're all working for the cartel. That's what it is. It's cartel on cartel violence.
That is so crazy.
And
man.
it's like, why is that? Because drugs are illegal. And so only the outlaws sell the drugs, and we are the ones who buy it. And so we prop up this fucking illegal market that's right next door.
We're the biggest market in the world for that stuff.
I know. And it's just, that's another human problem. Like, so what do? You make everything legal?
You can
Because then
do
you're
two
going to have
things.
drug addiction and you're going to have all sorts of problems, and people are going to overdose that probably wouldn't. But is that better than like allowing people to overdose accidentally on fentanyl because they just wanted a bump of coke?
You can stack bodies. That's one way to do it. You can actually, like he was saying, treat it like an insurgency and stack bodies like we did with ISIS. We solved that ISIS problem. Nobody ever talks about that. We solved that ISIS problem
During
in
the Trump
about 6
administration.
fucking months.
Yeah.
Trump said, I'll tell you what, you guys, let's take the gloves off and just go to work. And we stacked bodies, and that kind of went away in 6 months. It is, if you want to get really ugly, there's one aspect of it. You can do that, and I believe that's possible. And the reason I believe it's possible for some countries like the United States is because we've done it, and that'd be pretty ugly. Or the other thing is to maybe look into legalizing or taking the profit out of that kind of behavior. That's the second thing. The third thing you could do is you could actually go to the cartels, which is controversial, but I know it was on the table, and cut a deal, which is, tell you what, guys, tell us where all the fentanyl is, all the fentanyl factories in this country and in Mexico. No fentanyl, no human trafficking, but you can sell, let's say, marijuana and cocaine. How's that sound?
I'd heard about that too.
Yeah. Now
I'd heard that involved like a financial exchange.
Sure,
that was apparently
and yes, that's right, and also
unsavory.
pay us some reparations. So here's I don't know, $5 billion today. We'll give you $5 billion in about 5 years.
Which is crazy.
Listen, it's a deal, right?
Right,
These are business people.
But do you really think that they would honor that deal? But that then essentially you're opening up the door to, well, they're just a pharmacy now. They're a pharmacy for illegal drugs that we can't stop from coming in. So at one point in time, should we just accept the fact that people want to buy drugs and sell drugs? Because look, if cocaine was pure, how many people would be just doing a bump every now and then on a Saturday night?
You can't sustain it. If you want to do blow, nobody did a bunch of blow. Nobody had a lot of problems.
Right, but
did
here's
a bunch
the
of blow
thing.
and it got better the next day.
That's a bunch of blow. Some people don't do a bunch of blow, but they'll occasionally do blow.
Maintenance, bro. A little.
But no. That's not what I'm
bumps.
saying. I mean, some people can just party on the weekend.
Okay.
Right? We don't think that's the case because we think everyone's a crackhead.
Right.
Everyone just loses their whole life. Like, we don't even know because it's illegal.
Right.
Right? We don't know how, like, that's Dr. Carl Hart's position. You know, Dr. Carl Hart.
In other words, people can actually use drugs recreationally and be fine.
That's him.
Yeah,
And he's
it's called
a professor
individual responsibility. They're adults
at
who
Columbia.
can do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
and he's like, the problem is this propaganda about what drugs are.
He's the heroin guy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he tries heroin. He don't do it that way.
Sorry.
He
Oh,
sniffs
sorry.
it.
Sorry, dude. I'm not cool.
He can't say he's the heroin
He's the
guy.
heroin guy. Hey.
But he's brilliant, and he's a very interesting guy. When he talks about it, you're getting the perspective of a very educated person who was a complete, clean, sober person until he became a clinical researcher. And then as he's researching these drugs and doing like actual scholarly work, he realizes like, oh, this is not real at all. All this propaganda is nonsense. Yeah. Like the heroin addiction thing, he's like, it's like the flu. It's like you feel like shit for a couple days, then you get over it and you're fine. Yeah. It's like it's not.
Well, you're right that most people use drugs recreationally and it doesn't ruin their life. So again, I subscribe to that idea. Like let people do. They're going to do it anyway. By the way, they're going to smoke weed. They're going to do blow. They're going to do that shit.
But this is my position. I think yes, but if they did make it legal, where you can go to CVS and buy heroin, or go to CVS and buy cocaine, you're going to get a lot more people that buy it and try it because it's now legal. You know, so you get a lot more drug use initially.
Maybe in the short term.
Yeah, because our culture is fucked up. Our culture is like designed to accept legal things that are very detrimental, like alcohol, which is hugely detrimental.
Huge.
One of the worst
more.
ones
We're
for you.
bigger than cocaine.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things that Hunter Biden said. You ever hear Hunter Biden talk about crack?
No.
Makes you want to try crack. It's amazing.
Yeah.
He did this interview with, what is that guy's name? Andrew Callahan. And he did this whole thing where he described how amazing crack is. I swear to God, it makes you want to try crack.
Yeah.
But, he asked him, you think crack is safer than alcohol? He's like, yeah, probably. Yeah, it's probably safer. And it probably
Well,
is.
first of all, crack is devastating quickly. Like, you'll wake up in 3 years and have no house and be on the street. Alcohol, you can be an alcoholic for 40 years before you realize, holy fuck, I got nothing going on.
Yeah, that's true, too.
Right? So,
yeah.
so I think that the idea is you can legalize it. There's a lot of money in enforcement. And, or you can stack bodies.
Well, in the back in the day, people used to snort cocaine, and if you took to freebasing, you had a real problem. Like, that was Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor was fine until he started freebasing.
Sure.
And
But
then-
most of us are going to go.
But that's crack.
Right.
Freebasing is crack.
But most of us most of us are busy, right? Like, you're going to have people that are going to fuck their lives up, just like they do with alcohol and everything else, and cocaine and crack. But
And
most of us,
gambling.
even if it's but if it's around, we'll navigate it. Exactly how we're going to navigate social media.
Exactly how we navigate alcohol.
Right. At
Right?
you're going to start to see, people are going to start to realize they're being gamed by bots, by the most extreme examples. Your algorithm is lying to you. So pretty soon what happens? You say things like, I'm going to get off social media.
I
don't
think
listen.
it takes like 10 years before they figure that out, though,
Right.
right?
Okay. But it takes a while. And
Yeah.
then we'll have another problem. But I just think every time you try to fucking
Nanny state.
or just fix the world with force.
Right. And
you
laws.
it's kind of like squeezing a balloon. The gas is the air is just going to go in another part of the balloon.
Yeah.
As I get older, I'm like, I don't know, man. There might be a much easier way to do this shit.
Yeah. Well, personal responsibility is huge, but also counseling. Like, if you're going to allow drugs, there would have to be a whole support system set up to help people with addiction. But then also they should bring in Ibogaine. I mean, what they're doing with Ibogaine in Texas with veterans and with people that are drug addicts, they've had tremendous results. It stops your addiction dead in its tracks.
crazy, right?
With one session, 80% of the people never return. And with 2 sessions, 90+% of the people never return.
To alcohol.
To anything. To
Wow.
heroin, alcohol,
Wow.
cigarettes, gambling, whatever it is.
Holy shit.
Whatever you're hooked on.
Doesn't Ozempic work for that shit too?
Ozempic seems to have some sort of an effect on that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has some sort
And
of
the
effect
craving
on
part of your
and
brain?
addictions, yeah, because it's like it stops appetite. So I wonder if it stops like an appetite for like wild shit too. Like,
Yeah.
come on, 7.
Yeah.
Like people that are gambling addicts.
Yeah, apparently it helps. I think that the peptides and all that shit, technology is going to make it so that we can figure out a way to control a lot of that shit.
I think so too. Yeah,
You know?
I think they'll. But
They have very good drugs for alcohol. Very good drugs. You can take a drug for alcohol. The problem is, it's not the alcohol. The problem is when you take away somebody's addiction, like alcohol.
then they still have an
Bro,
itch for something.
But no, but it's also like all the fun of your life. Do you know that when people get gastric bypass, and they stop eating, suicides go up for them because eating was how they fucking dealt with all their problems. Like, so you're
of course.
Again,
That
now
makes sense.
you're taking away the addiction, but you're not getting to the source because
Right.
you got to be able to replace that shit.
You got to turn them into a triathlete like that old lady.
Which is why you got to go to church. I'm a man of God. I
gotta
go
do
to
something.
church now. Do you?
Yeah, I've gone
Yeah.
to church many times.
I like it. I go to Red Rocks.
Don't tell people where you go.
Oh, sorry.
They're gonna come see you.
Fuck. Yeah.
Hang out
I'm not
with you.
that famous.
Sit right behind you and
Maybe you. I'm
stare
not
at
that
your Bible,
famous.
see if you're on the right page.
This is my fame. People go, you know Joe Rogan? Can you get this thing to him? I got a deal.
Yeah, I want to sell shoelaces.
I don't even do. I love that. I'll sometimes people will just come up with like today, great idea. It's like, it's a good thing, and you were like, I'm just not interested.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to be in business with anybody.
No.
It's not fun.
No.
I've tried it.
Yeah.
It's not a good time.
I do have a business proposal. I'll
Yeah,
hit it with you. I have an idea.
I'm sure you do.
I have one idea.
I'm busy.
I brought 2 ideas to you.
Yeah, they all suck.
No, they didn't. They were good.
Tell everybody you're special. Bryan Callen, it's out
Oh,
now.
my special.
There it
my
is.
special
False
is
Gods.
My False Gods. I
At the
shot it at the
mothership.
mothership. I'm very
Fucking
proud of it.
awesome.
I think it's going to be great.
Who
Look
shot
at
it
me.
for you?
Dana, who's Sam Tripoli's lady.
Oh, nice.
I love
nice.
Dana so much, and that's the second thing she did. She did Man Tears, and this is I'm dropping this tomorrow,
Beautiful.
and this will air tomorrow. When
It'll
is this?
air. Well, it's today. So
Oh,
everybody
wow.
who's listening,
Oh, shit.
it's today.
All right.
If you're listening,
There
it'll
we
be
are.
tomorrow, but it'll
Oh, shit.
October 15th,
Yeah,
exclusively on YouTube.
That's it.
Ye fucking ha, brother.
and now I'm back to square one. I'm going to shoot my next one at the mothership. I'll see you tonight. But
See
are you going to be?
tonight. Yeah, I'll be there tonight.
I'll be there too,
Let's
buddy.
go.
Thank you for the time.
My pleasure, my brother.
appreciate
Always
it.
good to hang
Oh,
out.
hey, and come see every other Wednesday at Brian Redban's Club, Sunset Strip. We do acting off. Do you know about my show?
Oh no, what's that?
Oh, dude, I take all the comics in Austin, and we see who the best actor is. So you've got to like do things like die in slow motion, who does that the best, or redo the scene from The Notebook as Miss Piggy and Donald Trump. It's fucking hilarious. Peyton Ruddy is a fucking killer in it. Danny
that's
Martinello.
a great idea,
dude.
That's a great idea.
It's been so amazing, and we haven't promoted it, but I'm starting to promote it now because we're gamifying it. We have teams and see who can do the best, like interpretation. We have up close acting, so we have a camera on your face.
This is another thing that pisses me off about all these comics talking shit about the Austin scene. There's so many things going on here. This idea.
So many clubs.
People have like made this straw man. Like you have to have an N-word joke and you have to have a trans joke. Like that fucking club is so diverse.
Incredibly diverse.
But naturally.
Yes.
With no effort. It's all just funny people.
Who's the funniest?
People are funny in all shapes and sizes from all walks of life. Whatever struggle you've had that manifests itself in humor.
That's right.
Exists. There's tons of people in that club that are gay. Most of the comedians,
handicapped.
Most of the comedians, by the way, are liberal.
Yes.
So that throws that out the window.
Correct.
This whole idea that it's some fucking right-wing comedy club. Like, stop it. Most of the people there are liberal.
Correct.
Most of them.
Correct.
But it's just this walled garden thing when people are on the outside and they're like there hasn't been a scene here before.
Right.
And then you have the scrubs that were here, like they ruined the comedy scene. Like you guys had nothing.
Shut up.
You shut your
up.
stupid lazy hole. You had nothing.
Right.
You didn't even have a comedy club. When I moved here, Cap City was closed. You know how I know? Because I was gonna buy it.
Right.
I went to look at the fucking place where Cap City used to be and I was gonna purchase it.
Yeah.
That's how I know it was under.
Good club now.
It's the new one.
Yeah,
that's a different
the new
one.
Yeah.
The old one was great too, though,
Right.
which is like an event
Loved
center
it,
now.
yeah.
But yeah, the new one is great. And,
No, but the
there's more
mothership brought a
comedy
bunch of comedy here, so there are a lot of other clubs that are really
course.
fun. Creek and a Cave.
Because we made it so that, first of all, you've got a club that has 2 days of open mic nights, and you've got a real guy in Adam Egan, who's a real talent coordinator that really helps the development of comedians. And he does it really like consciously.
Takes it very
seriously. And he's like, he really loves comedy, and he really wants to help people, and he gives great advice, and he
Adam's
gives people
amazing.
spots.
Adam actually watches sets. Like he sits in the audience and
he
watches
takes his
that
job
shit.
very seriously.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean that's why I brought him in. I mean, he and I were the founders of the mothership. I mean, it was like we did it together.
Wow.
I wouldn't have done it without him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done it without him and without Carrie and a lot of the people that came from the store.
Yep.
And this is a place that it's new. And so if you're on the outside and you're not in, you try to find some criticism. That's like criticism is fine if you're telling the truth. But there's a bunch of people that are making things up because they're trying to attack something that they can't be a part of.
That's right.
And most of the reason you can't be a part of it is because you're a cunt. You're a cunt. You're a cunty person.
You cunt. We have a no cunts allowed.
We try to eliminate, and we have. You know, we've actually banned some cunts.
Yep.
You know, because people were shitty people,
Yeah.
and like we're trying to have a real positive place where you
It's
can just
very
get
positive,
better
man.
at this art form. It's a
love
love fest every time we go there. Everybody's having a good time.
I love it.
And you're gonna have people that have better experiences there and worse experiences there. One of the things, like someone was saying that she went to a comedy show and Justin Martindale went on, and then the next guy who came on started saying all these slurs about him. Yeah, you know who the next guy was?
Who?
Brian Holtzman. Okay, so if you know Brian Holtzman's act, it's a character he plays that's a complete maniac.
Right.
And everyone he goes on, he went after Kim Congdon the other night.
Right.
Kim Congdon has this great set. She's in the Little Boy, great set, very funny. He goes on and he goes, "Isn't it amazing watching women try to do things men do? What are you doing? Get in the kitchen! Get in the kitchen!" It's a character, he plays.
He's the
Make me a
sweetest.
sandwich!
He's the sweetest human being.
The
on
sweetest
the planet.
human being. So he did this with
And
Justin
Justin
Martindale.
doesn't care. Justin Martindale will
He
give
did.
as good as he.
Fucking said he like commented on it when this girl was talking shit about it. Like, yeah, that happened. Like, yeah, that happened with Brian Holtzman, you fucking asshole. You know what he's doing. He does that with me. He does that with everybody.
Yeah.
Every single person he goes on after, he shits on them to set the tone, and then he shits on everything. He shits on the tech guys walking around with their South by Southwest.
Yeah,
he goes crazy.
yeah.
He's funny as shit too. He's a legend.
Yep.
Like, you know what he's doing. So that maybe this one comic didn't know. Maybe no one told her, but she's
Right.
like spreading all this shit that it's like this hateful environment.
No,
like,
no,
it's
no.
not
It's so
true.
silly.
I know you wish it was, because then it could suck and you're not a part of it.
Come
but
see how diverse the faces are in the fucking mothership. It's the United Nations, dude.
Yeah, it really is.
It really is, and including because of Tony, there are a lot of people who are disabled who would never have a fucking stage, but because
100%.
they did some shit on Kill Tony, like, you know, facilitated the fact that they have a place to perform every single fucking night and a community. And by the way, they've earned it. I'm not saying they haven't.
Yes,
They've
and
earned
with
it.
Kill Tony, they have a very unique pathway where if they can really bang out a solid minute and
crazy.
kill,
It's so
they
hard,
can
too.
have a career.
Yeah.
You can have a career.
Yeah.
And then
Timmy No Breaks.
I mean,
He does acting off, by the way.
Oh, I'm sure he's
Timmy,
hilarious.
dude, that dude he'll just come up with shit out of him, and Peyton Runny will and Danny Martinello, they'll hit you with shit, and we're just like, holy fuck.
And that's Wednesday night at what time?
Wednesday night, we do it at 7. We're doing it on October 22nd. Come see what we do. It's gamified. It's
Where
fucking...
is the best place to find out when you guys are going to be there? Is it the website?
Yeah,
the comic strip. The Sunset Strip
on
website.
Sunset Strip's website and my website, but also my Instagram stuff. I post about it.
Beautiful.
And Nick Collis and my buddy Nick Simmons, who are my openers. You know Nick Simmons.
Yeah. He's
funny
great.
as shit.
He's funny. Very
He's fucking
funny.
great. We got to get him in. We got to get those. Those guys are all auditioning too. They're going through the whole process. So it's
Fantastic.
Great guys.
All right, you're at False Gods available
False
now
Gods
on YouTube.
Come see me.
All right, love you, brother.
Peace. Love you.
Bye, everybody.